Hello, EdT Dragon. Hello, Biometric Data. Thank you guys so much for coming so quickly. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys are doing amazing. Thank you for the 10 stream streak, Biometric Data. So happy that you've been here for this for so consistently. Thank you so much. It's really great to have you guys. I'm just prepping some stuff and we'll be beginning my dailies very shortly. New Streamlat, when did you change it? Oh, I literally, I just changed the background like right before I began. I was like, I kind of want to try to get like simpler backgrounds that, you know, might not be as hell on the bitrate of Twitch. So I just chose a simpler image and seeing how it looks. I kind of like the feel. I think one day I'm going to redraw like UI for my entire stream just to give it a simpler look. So yeah, just trying some stuff out. Alright, I'll begin very shortly.
You are now watching MrNeutral.
Very shortly is in right now. Hello guys! Happy Sunday! Happy Sunday stream! Good to see you guys! I am here, and we will soon be continuing Great Ace Attorney tonight. It's really cute, actually. It's like an album cover for an City Pop song. Oh, cool, thank you. I'm happy you think so. I've committed many crimes. I need a lawyer to get me out of trouble. Can you help me? What kind of trouble, King? What kind of trouble do you need help with? Also, it's good to see you, King. I hope you guys are doing great. I hope you guys are doing fantastic today. Thanks so much for joining and being here. So I very, very always appreciate you guys. But yeah, continue Great Ace Attorney. We're going to see if we can reach the end. I don't know if we will, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Lawyer and court troubles. Okay, I can help you out, King. I can help you out. Just like wire me like 500,000 USD as a forward cost. But yeah. Alright everyone, well let's just get right into the daily so we can get right into Ace Attorney. Alright, just a moment. Is this enough? Oh, that's perfect, King, thank you. Alright, let's do connections. So today we got dog, hog, frog, spork, cog, blog, smog, doze, horn, gear, corner, motel, monopolize, pinion, bogart, and sprocket. What the heck is going on today? Well, if you add O to opinion, it becomes opinion. O... All my crimes are crimes against humanity and one charge of jaywalking. That's, we can get that taken care of, King. I can't find any of these that need another letter at the beginning, so I guess we're just gonna have to go with pinion. Bogart means to like put together hastily, so like what if it's like a cog in the machine? Like maybe it's a cog, gear, sprocket, and pinion. Oh, these are all parts of a machine, maybe? Tooth wheels. Okay, nice. Okay. To hog, monopolize. No. Crimes Against Humanity or the jaywalking, because one of those is a little bit badder. Jaywalking. Jaywalking's serious. Blog. Hog, corner, bogart, and horn. No, monopolize. These are like to take up a lot of stuff, maybe? Greedily control. Yes. Okay. Dartuza, hi Dartuza. How are you doing, dude? I hope you're doing wonderful today, my friend. Hope you're doing absolutely wonderful. Blog. I'm in the final stretch. Oh, stuff going okay? Stuff going smooth with the movement and everything? Wait, blog, motel, smog, and spork. These are all combinations of two words, aren't they? Are they? If everything goes to plan, this should be the final and I have to deal with this. Alright, Dartuza. I hope that is very... Okay, I just knocked over my entire microphone. Sorry about that. I have no clue how that happened. Anyways, I hope you don't. I hope it goes over smoothly. Did I do that? No, you didn't. That was me. That was entirely me. I knocked over my microphone. I don't know how I did that. Anyways, anyways, I do hope that goes smoothly. The timing was really fun. I'm glad then. So smog, then blog, and then motel, and these all feel like combinations of words. What a clumsy young mutt you are! Stop saying. What are you doing? Portmanteaus, yes! Holy shit! Holy shit! Horn, frog, doze, and dog. Horn, frog, doze, and dog. Oh, bullhorn, bullfrog, bulldoze, and bulldog. Mooney. Amazing. Wow. Perfect. Hell yes. Hell yes. Guys, I think me getting a good night's sleep last night has really added up. Okay, cover art. Alright, let me wipe my glasses since I finally have my glasses rag again. I can see so clearly now. Alrighty. His brain is it is working. This is Yakuza 3, I think. Congrats. Both a good night's sleep and the first try. Thank you, Mooney. It was a decent night, I would like to say. It was now that I say it out loud, it was a decent night. Wait, you don't lick it clean like I do, Dartuza? I'm gonna spin kick you. Whose legs are these? Is this Ninja Gaiden? No, this is a prototype. Prototype. Prototype 2. Nice. Is this puppy? No, this isn't puppy, is it? No, it's not puppy. No, is this... Oh, from Ghost Runner. Oh yeah, the guy from Ghost Runner. Nice. Alright. Mop. Tiles. Hammer. Viscera cleanup? Mowing. Painting. Relaxing. Furniture. Decoration. Demolition. The Sims? Renovation, no dialogue, paint roller. What was the games from yesterday? Oh, what, because it was Mario Day? Immersive sim breaking walls. Oh, wait, is this Teardown? House Flipper? Is it House Flipper? It is House Flipper. Nice, King. I've never heard of this. Oh, well, I forgot about it, rather. Mario. Bowser's Inside Story. Wow. This is the most incorrect we've ever been. It is a single-player game. It's not Nintendo. It's not a side view game. God of War. Let's guess the new one. It's on PC or PS4. It's not third person. It's not an RPG, hack and slash, or platformer. It's not a comedy. It's not a fantasy. It's not historical. Let's try a first person. Let's try Halo. Excuse me, I am so sorry about that. Okay, it is on PC. It is a first-person only game in PC. Bless you. Thank you, Tukul. Also, hi, Tukul. Hope you're doing good. The Spendo made a good song for Hasselbirds. Oh, okay, cool. A first-person PC game. Just got here. How's the pre-gaming going? Pretty good. We're honestly doing really good. Welcome aboard. I don't know. Doom the Dark Ages? Okay, it's like 2024, I guess. Oh, it's not only first person. It is a horror game. Oh. What horror game switches from first person to something else? And not just third person. No, Resident Evil 9 switches from first and third person. Third person is not the one. How are you? Oh, hey, Biometric. Well, I already said hi to you, but doing good. Doing good, Biometric Data. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, and it's older than 2025. A horror game that switches from first person to maybe isometric? Oh, wait, shit. That means that it's like old style Resident Evil or something. Like, top down. And then when you aim in, it might be like shooting. Like, you know, you're aiming in. Does Signalis do that? I'll try putting Signalis. It is an indie game. It is an indie horror game made in Unity. And it is first-person isometric. So I imagine it's an isometric game, and when you aim down your gun, it's first-person. What games do that? Can't stay long, but it's always a pleasure to see you. Aw, Biometric Data, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm always happy to have you. Soma? No, Soma's only first person. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is this freaking Raven... Crow Country? Darn it. Oh, I was so close. Oh, I was so close. 2024. This is a 2024 game. Right year. 2024. Let's pull up a clue. Okay. It is a horror, a thriller, a mystery romance? Romance? What do you mean romance? What? Oh, that is the first time we've gotten romance. A horror, thriller, mystery, romance game. Slay the Princess. Slay the Prince. Maybe. Oh, it's considered text. Not a bad guess though. Not a bad guess. Interesting that that isn't tagged as romance. Hey, it was made in Ren'Py. That's cool. I mean, of course it was, but I never thought about that. Horror, romance. Shoot, I don't know. I feel like I should know this. Oh man. First person. A first person isometric. First person isometric. Shoot, dude. I am... Oh, it's like at the tip of my tongue, I feel. But I don't think I got it, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm kind of lost. I don't know. Let's look up 2024 indie games. 2024. Let's just see what came out this year. Oh, that year, I mean. Let's see. Crow Country, Alone in the Dark, The Casting of Frank Stone, Until Dawn, The Outlast Trials, Mouthwashing, Amanda the Adventurer, Silent Hill. I don't know, Mouthwashing? I actually don't know what the gameplay of Mouthwashing looks like. Okay, it's first person. Okay. I don't know, Alone in the Dark? No, wait. Yeah, I have genuinely no clue. I'll just put in Alone in the Dark, but I have no clue. It was me side. Of course it was me side. Of course it was. Oh my god, of course it was. Of course it was. Are you kidding me? Of course. Tuber Swap? No, I hear it's a good game. I hear it's a good game. Crud. I do say I find this a lot more interesting than its contemporaries of like meta horror love story kind of deal. It does look really interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. Okay, well, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, let's get right back into the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles where we left off in the trial. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to continue. Let me move everything around. Alrighty. Here we are. I got my controller out, ready to game. Will there be a Monday stream? Yeah, I'm thinking it'll just be art, biometric data. I think it'll just be art. Can I get a game where the game itself is alive? Romance is optional. Alrighty. Great Ace Attorney Chronicle. Everything looks good. Awesome. Alright, everyone. Let me hydrate real quick. Alright, guys. Well, I think it is time to just get right into it, huh? I am so excited. I'm so excited. Alright, guys. We were in the middle of the trial. We got a series of new witnesses. And, yep, we will be continuing. We will be continuing where we left off at their testimony. Should add a redeem for no water. No, I would never do that. We all need water. All times, King. Alright. Let's continue.
You tried me to tell what you witnessed and heard at the time of the incident.
Alright. The witness's account. We saw the whole thing from the start, we did. Everything from the moment they went into the building. It was less than a minute after the Reaper had gone inside, and we all heard a big bang.
It seems to me that quick to talk is quick to talk. Oh, quick to talk is quick to walk. Gosh, I couldn't wait to go and see what had happened.
I read it. How do I even? I hate this fucking guy's lips so much. I hate this guy's design. He sucks so much. I read the room where he was. The Reaper got his hand sent over the dead body. I was scared half to death, me. So I ran off to find a copper. Alright. I'm sorry, can you please repeat that? I couldn't concentrate. I was staring at your huge lip. If these witnesses were there the whole day and saw everything, who did they see going inside the building? Only the victim, Inspector Gregson, and the accused, Beric von Zieks. I've seen pictures of the Ripper in the paper. I know what he looked like. And just as she does, full of stories like this, I've given myself a tiny sum already. But wait, the room was just one of several flats in the building. Someone from another flat could have done it. All those flats on Fresno Street are unoccupied. Stop doing that. Of course they are. They're small, damp, dirty, and expensive to boot. The room in which the inspector was found is the only property in the building that is currently leased. And we know the leaseholder's name, don't we? It's Hugh Boone. The testimony in court just heard would appear to leave little room for doubt. It's becoming increasingly difficult to see how anyone other than the defendant could have committed the crime. No. Thank you for your candor, my lord. As a lip connoisseur myself, these are not the type of DSLs I find appealing. I definitely don't. I think he should get that checked out. I definitely think he should go to the doctor. Go to the freaking the hospital and get that checked out. Counsel for the bench, we proceed to cross-examine the witnesses. Yes, my lord. In a closed court like this, without a jury, the judge is the only person whose opinion matters. I have to break down this testimony. Somehow. Cross-examination. Cross-examination. So the whole thing from start to finish we did. Everything from the moment they went into the building. Hold it! Okay. When you say they, who do you mean exactly? Inspector Gregson and the defendant, Lord Van Zieks? I suppose so. Like, the likes of us would know the names of the high and mighty. But I'll tell you one thing. It was the old Reaper that went in last, that's for sure and certain. Just behind Inspector Gregson. Did they arrive at the same time as each other? No, not at all. The press fellow must have gone inside a good 15 minutes before we heard the gunshot. The victim arrived 15 minutes before. Are you sure about that? Am I sure? Am I sure? Does it seem likely that I forgot a fellow with bright red hair like that? Does it? Yeah, these were really red, weren't it? Redder than my flaming fireworks, even. Interesting.
That fire red mob burnt on the inside of my eyelids, Tish.
Wait a minute. You're saying the man was a redhead? Weren't you listening, chum? He was a redhead. I did a really big trunk with him as well, damn. Oh, you mean like a physical trunk. But Inspector Gregson's hair isn't red, not by any stretch of the imagination. It seems likely that the person you saw wasn't in fact Inspector Gregson at all, but some other third party. No, I hate to break it to you, but the witnesses are correct. What? Just look at this photograph of the victim taken at the scene. Yes, that's Inspector Gregson, all right. And a red hairpiece. Ah, of course. We saw one on the floor when we investigated the scene, didn't we? That's an awful picture of your death. I still refuse to believe Inspector Gregson wore a hairpiece, though. So then why on earth would he have been wearing something like that? I've heard of Underbite. This is ridiculous. I see what you meant by that, Archie's freaking Looney Tunes. They saw the wrong Gregson, maybe. Fudge. I've read to say Redhead Society is a real home. Yes, I did see that. I did find that. The Redheaded Society is a real Sherlock Holmes story. Or you could just slap a wig on his... You can't... You could just slap a wig on his corpse. Maybe.
Well, it does seem to quite suit the man, one might say. The photograph will be submitted as evidence. Please, counsel.
Wait. Red hairpiece on his head. Hold on. But isn't this strange that there's so much blood, but there's no blood splatter? Isn't that weird? Like, if he was shot in the fucking front of the chest, right? Like, in the torso, there'd be a decent bit of blood splatter, but it's only oozing from him. That's what's really throwing me. That's the same thing about the crime scene. There was no blood splatter on the wall. It's just the oozing blood. And that's what's really getting to me. No blood in the hair. Yeah, exactly. Imagine dying in a terrible wig to horrible death. Yeah, a friend did did a live reading of it once. Oh, that's awesome. Just poured out, no blood on the hair. Didn't the wig have clips inside that should keep it firmly in the head? Yeah, I believe it did. Yeah, see, there's clips right here. Interesting. And what became of the trunk that the red-headed victim was supposedly carrying? I was informed that no trunk was found at the scene. So it just disappeared.
What, do you expect us to have been watching the building every second, do you?
We definitely saw him in the dock going in, though. No question about that. It was less than a minute after the Reaper had gone inside that we all heard a big bang.
Hold it!
Hold it? By which, presumably, you mean the gunshot. I saw these little things, don't I? How would I know what a gunshot sounds like? But I always thought it probably sounds a bit... like this, doesn't it? And you say that you heard the noise almost as soon as you saw the defendant here entering the building. That's right. It was almost straight away. Bang, it went, just like that.
Well, he's Reaper, isn't he? That's what the French call a fake copland. When the Reaper's around, people are going in the ground. I mean, that's what he does, isn't it?
I think we get the message. The Reaper couldn't allow the inspector to live after he discovered his secret hideout. There can be no clear motive for the crime.
Yes. It's certainly an eminently credible motive.
Great. And at that point, you ran inside, is that correct? Is slipping off Gregson. Either he's advanced bald or they slapped that shit on his corpse. That's a good point, Dartusa. And in the previous case with Graydon, they made it a point to showing his blood splattering on the wall after he was shot, so we can't say it's something the game ignored. Exactly. If the game is going to expect us to notice the direction that blood is flowing, then we're going to damn well notice what direction the blood is flowing and how it's flowing. I'm really happy they're going that far too. That made me really happy when the case hinged on the gravity of the blood. Like, I was like, oh, they're going to go this far? Fuck yes. That's awesome.
It seems to me that quick to talk is quick to walk. Gossip couldn't wait to go and see what had happened.
Hold it!
Hold it. So, when Gossip ran to see what had happened, did you go too?
Well, I'm a bit hampered to see all the sides and I can't move very well.
You were way behind, presumably. With that sandwich board around your neck and the big sign in your hand. What a great burden you bear. Pardon me for asking, Mr. Sandwich, but is it possible you and I have met before?
I'm not anybody, The signs what make me who I am. Now, I signed, therefore I am.
So, you weren't employed as an omnibus driver just under a year ago, then? I might be mistaken, but I believe I believe his trembling has intensified, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, I agree. He's clearly been through a lot.
turn down King Henry Street and the Black Widower's arm is just there.
Oh dear, you made him hide behind his sign. Life is full of surprises. Poor guy. Small world, yeah.
I ran into the room and there he was. The Reaper, gun in hand, standing over the dead body.
Hold it. So then, you were the first person to arrive on the scene, is that right?
That I was. Kicked the door open like a professional, I did. I yelled out, "What's going on here? What's going off here?"
Lord Van Zieks claims all he heard was a man scream, though. And was it dark inside the room?
No, not dark at all. There were candles burning on the wall.
Really?
And there was a fellow collapsed on the floor.
Just between us, it's the first thing I noticed when I got inside.
Ah, I see. Even though Lord Van Zieks claims not to have seen any such lights on the wall.
The next thing I noticed was someone standing right beside the body.
The accused, Barak Van Zieks.
That's right, the pale-faced Reaper himself. I was a little shocked, I won't deny it, but I'm no lily-livered coward. I stood my ground and gave the Reaper a cold, hard stare myself.
Excuse me? Do you have something to add, Mr. Sandwich? Oh. See, poor guy. I do feel legitimately bad for him. This poor guy.
There's really nothing to be empty in the head. I am just 2 slices with no middle. So I don't know what you could want with me.
I think that maybe you just remembered something. Having heard Mr. Gossip's last statement, I mean.
Oh, what I think is, we're nothing's really. We try to dress ourselves up as something else, but at the end of the day, we're all just street sellers.
That's enough out of you, Sandwich. Just keep your trap shut now. Unless you want us to make you into a real sandwich.
Don't be threatening people in the courtroom.
When he saw the Reaper, he fell clean over on his backside.
That's it?
Oh, you rotten beggar. I told you to keep that a secret.
He screamed, he did. Screamed and scrambled off on all 4s. That's all I wanted to say.
Mr. Gossip, is this true?
The floor was dead slippery, that's why. Planted my hand in a filthy pool of blood, didn't I? Yuck.
What? A pool of blood?
But listen here, when I was sprawled on the floor, I still kept giving the Reaper a cold hard stare, don't you forget it.
Let's just go back a little. Did you say you got blood on your hand?
I did, I happened to the best of us time, doesn't it? So I was scared, so I slipped over. We could just keep it between us, can't we?
No, Mr. Gossip. I'm going to have to ask you to add that information to your formal testimony.
Well, if I must.
What if Gregson is faking being dead? Nothing a little ketchup packet and using his hand to stop his heart can't accomplish? That's a... He's fucking Gregson, not Jotaro.
We're just rolling back to testimony to include the affirmation details at once.
He knows. Oh, using his stand to stop his heart. I didn't even notice he said stand. I thought you said his hand.
I slipped over and got blood in my hand, so I quickly wiped it off on the floor.
Hello? Oh, wrong button. You can do that with your hand. Wow, so crazy. There is no handprint. I think that's the piece of evidence we can use. Okay.
Objection!
Oh, darn it. Contradictory number ways? No. Yes?
No.
Die.
Oh.
Okay, I guess we can't use the image. I wiped it off on the floor. Just want to make sure before we press the rest of the stuff. Oh. Actually. Yeah, there is a handprint. Objection. So you wiped off the blood from your hand on the floor of the room. Are you quite sure about that?
Well, what else you suspect you've done, eh? Does it really matter?
Objection!
Objection. Ooh, his objection's sharp. Fuck, I love his voice. I love you, Kazuma. The police found no handprint on the floor during the investigations. What exactly is the defense asserting? Objection! If you listen, you'll find out. Prosecutor Asugi. Oh, the tension. Ooh. Certainly, there was no bloody handprint found on the floor. What are you trying to say? There was a handprint left very clearly at the scene. On the back of this notice board. Ooh, the hands on hip but the angry face. I'm not used to that. Whenever Phoenix does that, he smiles, confidently. So I like seeing Ryunosuke do the hands on the hip but do the serious face. Ooh, I love it, I love it, I love it.
Oh yes, indeed. Indisputably a handprint in the distinctive colors of blood. You're dead right, that's my hand. I know it anywhere. Hot.
Objection!
Objection. The witness definitely testified that he wiped his hand on the floor. Any handprints on the back of the board are irrelevant. Objection. Not if the board itself had fallen over onto the floor. In that case, it's quite possible for the witness's handprint to have ended up there. Just look at the floor plan of the room. The notice board was on the opposite corner of the room to the victim, in an upright position. Even if it had somehow been toppled and was lying on the floor at the time. It would have been a considerable distance from the body.
I fell over when I came across the body, so I was basically right next to the corpse, not on the other side of the room.
In other words, the defense's assertion is contradictory. Yes, it is. That's exactly the point. It's contradictory, but why is it contradictory? That's what's more important. What is causing it to be contradictory? Can you amend testimony like that? In these games, you can have them amend their testimony at it, as long as the judge approves. The judge saying die would be really funny. There's a very definite contradiction here, for which there must be a reason.
I take it you've formulated a proper hypothesis, counsel. Regarding this apparent discrepancy between the witness's account and the handprint found at the scene.
Yes. I have, my lord. This discrepancy between the witness's account and the location of the handprint is explained by... Another handprint. The board moving. Yeah, the board being moved. Or the body was moved. So it's either false testimony or the board moving. These both mean similar things for me. So... the most simple one would be the board moving. The real contradiction here is the handprint itself, not where it was found. As the court can see, it's upside down.
Good gracious, so it is. If the witness had put his hand against the wall, the finger should be pointing upwards.
What does that tell us? It tells one simple fact. When this handprint was made, the board must have been lying on the floor as I previously suggested, which means that after the incident, it must have been moved. What?
Objection!
Objection. You're claiming that somebody moved the notice board after the shooting. Then tell the court who. I don't know that yet, but the point is, when you consider all the testimony we've heard so far, we can now be very clear on one point.
That would be?
Someone tampered. The position of the notice board at the time of the incident, my lord.
So, counsel, I must ask you to clarify your assertion for the court. At the time of the incident, where do you maintain the notice board was situated?
It would have had to be near the body, right? But he was at the door. So the notice board should have been here, but that means that the body should have been here. Let me try to maintain my theory that somebody moved Gregson's body here, so the notice board would have been right here. I will try for it. Take that. It was right here, my lord.
Goodness. No, I'm afraid I don't quite see your logic.
I'm disappointed, Ryunosuke. In Japan, we're taught to have patience and respect for our elders. So until his lordship sees your logic, you will know your place and do not move from that spot. Gah! Damn it. You can do just about anything in these courts. Yeah, a little bit. How brilliant of Kazuma-sama. That almost sounded unreasonable at first, but he was just thinking of you. Reasonable? Try unfathomable. Anyway, I think I have the answer now. I know my place, or rather, I know the board's place. I'm glad I got that wrong. There's some freaky top-bottom shit going on right now. There's some fucking top and bottom. Kazuma just like, it just said, know your place, Ryunosuke, and Ryunosuke said, I know my place. I mean... When did you 2 stars go king? I'm going to throw you high into the air.
So how true, I must ask you to clarify your assertion for the court. Time of the incident, where do you maintain the notice board was situated?
It would have been here near Gregson's body then. Take that. This is the only possible location.
Immediately adjacent to the doorway?
If the court would think back to the testimony given by the defendant earlier, he said that when he entered the room, it was dark. He couldn't see the body.
Back!
If the notice board had been here, the body would have been completely hidden from view, and the light from the candles would have been blocked, making the room appear darker.
Objection!
Objection! But the accuser also claims that the victim's body simply appeared before him. That is true. Or in his precise words. Just as I picked the firearm up to examine it, the door flew open and I heard a man scream. It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me. Because the door would have knocked the board over. The door would have knocked the board over. The scene was engineered so that Van Zieks wouldn't have seen the body, and then if somebody were to come in and check after a gunshot, then they would see, yeah, oh wow, that's crazy if that was like pre-calculated.
I know by calling it a scream, but he was talking about me and no mistake. Cause it was me that kicked the door open.
If you look again at the floor plan, consider what would happen if the door to the room was thrown open with force. Wow. That can't. The door struck the notice board, knocking it over, and making the victim's body visible.
Good gracious.
My client has told nothing but the truth. He has simply described what he saw. Gah! Oh! Fuck. His pained expression is really handsome. Fuck.
Order. Order. Counsel, how does that come to light before now?
After the incident, somebody must have righted the board and moved it into the position where the police, myself, and my colleague saw it when investigating the room. Could we wait for a little bit? Hang in there, Attorney Newt. Absolutely, Dartuza. Thank you so much for being here. Good luck with the moving process. I'm so happy to have had you for a bit. I hope to catch you a little bit later.
Witness, what do you have to say for yourself?
What? My lord? You and your fellows were there at the scene before anybody else. It goes without saying that you must know something about the position of the notice board.
The witnesses that stand will testify again. Please explain exactly what you did upon arriving at the scene of the crime. Stop looking over here, you. Stop looking your. Stop looking over your glasses at me. I get the message.
Witness.
Testimony. I'm Mr. of the moving board. I don't know anything about their notice board. I just wiped my hand on it, that's all.
Well, don't look at me. I haven't got a clue about it. I was doing business with some second years at the time.
I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander, me. I'm just a sign at the crossroads of life.
It was that Reaper, I bet. He's gonna face that screaming board.
I can't see how this changes anything anyway. The detective still died when we heard the gunshot.
The detective still died when we heard the gunshot. There's something awfully fishy about that.
So none of you can elaborate further.
Shaken by the crime they witnessed, and with only the light of a few candles and an oil lamp by which to see, we can't expect these witnesses to be able to give a more precise account of what happened. That's right, yeah. It don't pay to expect too much.
It's man's endless quest for knowledge that's destroying the world. That's what I think.
Do you? Really? In any case, as this testimony shows, even if the notice board was moved by somebody following the incident, it makes no difference. When the gunshot rang out, the accused was the only person at the scene. In short, the only person who could possibly have committed this crime was Beric Van Zieks. None of this wrangling over the board changes that simple fact.
Quite so, quite so. Does the defense still wish to cross-examine the witnesses despite the circumstances?
Of course. Most certainly, my lord.
Very well, you may proceed, counsel.
Cross-examination. The mystery of the moving board.
I don't know anything about the notice board. I just wiped my hands on it, that's all.
Hold it. So you admit that it was the board you wiped your bloody hand on?
Admit? Well, what's to admit? That's there on Friday's day for all to see. I smashing print in my right hand.
Perhaps you wanted to hide that handprint. So you righted the notice board and pushed it into the corner, did you?
No, imagine the weight of that great lump. Do I look like a powerful and well-nurtured man?
Well, do you see anybody else moving the board?
I've got nerves of steel, I can tell you, but even I have my limits. There was a party on the floor right in front of me, and the Grim Reaper himself decided over it. And it was precious little light inside either. My bottom lip was a quiver.
In other words, this witness is unable to give definite testimony on that point.
Yes, so it will retrieve.
Interesting. Well, don't look at me. I haven't got a clue about it. I was doing business with some second years at the time. Hold it. When you say you were doing business with them, you mean you were selling them fireworks? Yeah, what else? There's the Priory School just around the corner, see? Those cheeky little so-and-sos have got a plan to blow the school to Kingdom Come. So I've been telling on them. Just letting the teachers know what they're up to. Oh, you have? Yeah, wouldn't want anyone to get hurt, so I let the school know the kids were playing with dodgy toys. Then, praise the Lord, the teachers take all the fireworks off them. And then, praise the Lord again, the kids all come back to me to buy more. Everyone's happy, see? What a racket. She's got a really smart business plan, holy shit. Of course, and sometimes the teachers give me a little bonus to thank me for letting them know. It's a busy old life, selling explosives.
This is a beautiful goddess indeed.
Well, telling barefaced lies is kind of my thing, really. I'm ever so good at it. She's good.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Something wrong, Mr. Sandwich?
If if I said it was, could we just leave it at that? Would that be the end of it?
No. Does Miss Venus's statement just now bring something to mind, perhaps?
Philosophical thoughts. Deep philosophical thoughts. Let's say there was a great liar. And the great liar said without batting an eye, telling barefaced lies is kind of my thing. I'm ever so good at it. Would those words of hers be a lie too? Or the truth? In which case, she's not a liar. Oh, it's a hellish paradox, that one, don't you think?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. But it seems to me you're suggesting Miss Venus has been lying. Are you? What are you on about, old man? Trying to cause trouble, are you? Keep on like that. And I'll wrap your whole body in firecrackers and set them off. That'll give you something to tremble about.
Wow, startlingly disturbing behind that sweet and innocent face, young lady.
Infinite money glitch, honestly. So Miss Venus has lied in her testimony. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Sandwich?
Well, if it means I'll be burning in hellfire for the rest of my days, so be it. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Could you elaborate, please, sir?
Oh, blabbermouth here, headed for the room where the gunshot seemed to come from. But there were...
I'm going to change the voice. It's going to get exhausting.
But there was someone else who crept up the stairs behind him, too. That's right. The rotten liar over there.
You mean to say that you did in fact take yourself into the scene of the crime after all?
What did I tell you, eh? I said I was going to tell him barefaced lies, didn't I? Yes, you mentioned it. Well, that revelation rocked the whole courtroom, didn't it? Who knew the firecrackers packed such a punch?
So you did indeed visit the scene of the crime, did you, young lady? Good grief.
Well, now you come to mention it, I suppose perhaps. I do clearly remember climbing the stairs to the room, yeah? Either you clearly remember it or you don't.
Well, I shall consider a fitting punishment for this perjurous act later. For the time being, you will immediately amend your testimony to reflect the truth.
Oh yes, my lord, of course. Hey, Ultimate Minority, glad to see you live again. Sorry for the following, then immediately ghosting. It was like 3 AM for me, so I literally fell asleep while typing. I appreciate that, Minority. You're all good. I'm actually going to call you Ultimate. I'm going to call you Ultimate instead of Minority for obvious reasons. But yeah, of course, dude. Of course, no worries. I appreciate you coming by and saying hi and following despite being so tired. Goodness. It's good to have you. Thanks for being here. We're playing Great Ace Attorney. Hey, Newt, hope 9-Ball didn't give you too much problem last stream. Zeno, I defeated 9-Ball first try. I will always hold that as a badge of honor for myself. I was able to defeat 9-Ball on my first try. I'm so happy. But the cutscene crashed my stream for some reason. So I redid the fight over again, and that one took 2 attempts. Yes, I defeated 9-Ball first try, Mini. Yeah, I called it broski, and you could do it. Thank you, Zeno. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for having such faith in me. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. But yeah, so that is, we're done with Armored Core, so we're going to be beginning Dark Souls next weekend. Maybe I did sneak along behind gossip and have a little peek into the room while it all happened. Hold it. You make a habit of lying, do you, Miss Venus? Well, I suppose so. I don't really know, to be fair. If you want my advice, though, I take everything I'd say with a big pinch of salt. Alright. But you did in fact go to the room where the victim was killed on the day in question, didn't you? But did you beat 10-Ball and your favorite CEO Raven? Oh my god. Clearly my definitely not a joke farewell worked wonders. First attempt, first try. Second attempt, second try, perfectly balanced. Exactly, Minority. You get. I'm gonna keep it clean. Exactly, Ultimate. You get it. You absolutely get it. That's exactly it. Exactly how it was. I did not do the extra arena though, because that is like 100 combatants. That is like 100 arena fights, and I here can get really exhausting. So I was like, I'll do that on my own time. Oh please, as if I would. I can't think of anything more terrifying. The truth, please. Well, alright, just a bit then. I mean, a girl my age is curious about stuff, you know? I just realized her accent is, like, more country than... I'm gonna amend her voice. Did you touch anything at the scene? Oh, please. As if I would. I mean, there was a dead body on the floor. The truth, please. Well, alright, just a bit then. I would look to see if there was anything I could tell. So I did give the place a once-over, but it was nothing to write home about. Right. Now, I hesitate to ask, but... You didn't move the notice board by any chance, did you? Oh, please. As if I would touch anything like that. Just a few bits of loose change is all I had. The truth. Please. Well, alright then. I thought there might be something worth having underneath it. So I blasted the flippin' thing. Sorry, flip the blasted thing. That's really good. Sorry, flip the blasted thing. You're telling us that you did move the board. I think I did. I think that did slip out, didn't it?
What? You daft barbart! I don't believe it. The girl doesn't think.
I'm taking a picture of that, hold on. I don't believe it, the girl doesn't think. Either is fine, man. It's always a toss-up with people. I wouldn't have chosen a name if I went along with being called Minority. I wouldn't have chosen a name if I wasn't alright with being called Minority. It's up to you. Oh, okay, got you. Okay. Yeah, I get you. If Nick decides to call you Minority, does it extremely aggressively, the way Barrock says Deeponies. Oh, hi there, that's my friend Minority! So did you find anything then? Something that you might have taken, perhaps? To sell? Oh, please. I should be so- The truth! Now! I might have found this old pocket watch under the nose board, I suppose. But a bit of junk like this can't be worth much if you ask- So you was it? You're the one who took it. Gina.
Joclink, may I remind you where you are?
That watch there. That was the President Inspector Gregson from the yard for the big case he solved 10 years ago. The Professor case, no doubt. The boss used to wind it up every evening without fail, and he was waiting for his grub to come to the pub. I see. Ooh, wait a minute. If we see that watch, we can know if he died before or after noon. We can know if he died earlier or later than the case says. That would be really helpful to look inside. Yeah, I see. I swiped it off once and blimey, he was upset. Gave me a right earful. He said he hadn't missed a day in the last 10 years polishing it and winding it. It meant the world to him, that watch did. Possibly not the best thing to go diving for then. It's not all that though. I took it to James's that night to ask how much it was worth, but the old dealer wouldn't touch it. Wouldn't give me a penny for it. Said it wasn't working. Knocked about and worthless, he called it. Ugh. I know I should have lifted it. That watch must be submitted as evidence at once. Oh, please, just so long as you promise to give it back when you're done. Not a chance. I'll swipe it for you if you've got your grubby mitts on it again.
That's enough. Hand the watch to the bailiff forthwith.
Now, children, watch your manners. I was gonna say you can't call Gina a child. She's like 18 now, but then I was like, I consider like 19-year-old and under children at this point.
Good lord. The glass appears to be broken.
More than likely, it shattered when the inspector was shot. It doesn't tick anymore either. Which is why James didn't want it. What a waste, eh?
Yes, indeed. But the appears to have stopped at the hour of 5.
Oh, does it not list the time of death? The coroner's Maria Gori. Interesting. We might be seeing a new coroner this time around. Why doesn't it list the time of death on his autopsy? Maybe they just don't know it. Maybe they just don't know the time of death then. James is from Holmes? Oh, that's awesome. Exactly when the gunshot was heard then. Which supports the prosecution's claim, of course. Unless he was killed at 5 in the... Well, so if this was 5 a.m., what if he was killed in 5 p.m.? Right? What if he was killed 5 p.m.? And then they arranged it to make it seem like he was killed 5 a.m. Because a clock would look identical either way. Yeah. Brixton's pocket watch.
Well, it would appear that the mystery of the movie was what I was solved at least.
Glass over the face really is badly cracked. Look. What a shame when the inspector clearly looked after it so carefully. I imagine Mr. Shrums could repair it, don't you? Yes, I should think so. He's very adept at things like this. A useful man to have around, in fact. But kindly remember that he's a great detective, Mr. Naruhodo, and not an odd job man. You're gonna have to convince me of that. Huh, the ticker at the top is broken. The stopper is gone. There's a tiny little stub sticking out from this small hole here, look. I suppose there must have been a little knob or something on that for setting the time. In that case, seeing as we know the inspector took such good care of this watch, it probably broke when the incident occurred, didn't it? Yes, of course. Which could mean that there's a small part of the watch still at the scene, maybe. Ah, there's a tiny little keyhole here. Oh, there's a tiny little keyhole here, can you see? Oh yes, that's probably for the winder used to wind up the mechanism. It looks a little unusual, don't you think? Yes, you'd need just the right key to wind it, I imagine. Why do I feel as though I've seen something? Yep, something a bit like a key that's about the right size to fit in this hole. It would be wonderful if we had the key. Let's check carefully over what we've already found. Yup, here's what here's what it's for. It's for the winding mechanism. Okay. The helmet of this charming policeman appears to be a little worse for wear. I'm not convinced about the charming part, but yes, you're right. The head part looks like it's been fairly heavily manhandled, almost as if somebody has enjoyed twisting it around and around for fun. Shall we try twisting it around and around too, for fun? Ah, what's that? It appears to be some sort of key, but it's tiny though. It could be a key for a door, not at that size. So what is it for, I wonder? Mr. Sato, do you think perhaps this key could be the key for the Inspector Gregson's watch? Oh, yes, it could be. Let's try it at once. There's not a moment to lose. Oh. Oh, I knew it. A perfect fit. And look, the Inspector's watch has started going again. Ah, so it has obviously just not been wound up, that's all. What is it, Mrs. Sato? Well, if the watch isn't actually broken after all, I have a feeling it could have profound implications. She's deep in thought now. Perhaps I'd better start thinking deeply too. There we go. Having wound it up, it started ticking again. Alright, huge. Huge. Oh, hey, Bright Guy, it's so good to see you. Great Ace Attorney is going awesome. The case continues to be incredibly awesome, incredibly interesting. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I hope you're doing great, Bright Guy. It's so good to see you, my friend. It is so wonderful to see you. I'm gonna take a sip real quick.
Well, it would appear that the mystery of the moving door sport has been solved at least.
And as predicted, it had very little bearing on the case.
Now then, continue with the cross-examination, please, counsel.
I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander, me. Just a sign of the crossroads of life.
Hold it. But you did go to see what had happened in the room, didn't you?
Festive Street is my whole world. It's all I know, and I know all of it. I have to make it my business to know if I want to hold up my side up high.
So you did go to see what had happened.
It's not the destination that's important, it's how you got there, isn't it?
Did you notice a notice board in the room?
If you think about it, we're both the same species, aren't we? Both different members of the sign family. So if I'd spotted it, I might have tried to trip it out of the sense of rivalry, I mean.
Someone really needs to tell you that you're Homo sapiens, not Homo siniens. This is a dumb pun. Does that mean that you didn't notice the board?
I can only repeat what I said before. I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander, me. Just a sign of the crossroads of life.
In which case, just who is responsible for moving the notice board?
Hold it. What exactly do you mean by that?
Oh, come on. Come on now, don't tell me just so you noticed it. You look like he hates everything in the world, that fella. But that notice boards, they're not the ones they're the ones he likes. You can see in his eyes.
I can't say I'd ever noticed.
I'll tell you one thing for free, though. I never took my eyes off the man on the floor or off the Reaper, not for a second.
Sorry?
Well, I was that scared, I couldn't. You never know what a feed like that might do if you look away, don't you?
If you didn't take your eyes off the defendant, you should be able to confirm categorically whether or not he was the one who moved the notice board.
Why that I can't. The Reaper did nothing of the sort. I can swear on that. I could have missed it. If he heaved the thing upright again and dragged it into the corner.
Right. Glad we've cleared that up.
What happened to the face that screams bored?
I feel your pain, Kazuma. Did he now? Did he really? It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon that you all heard the loud bang, wasn't it?
Maybe the notice board fell over, or maybe it didn't. Maybe I fell over, or maybe I didn't. But the Reaper's fate is sealed either way because of the gunshot we all heard. So your fate's sealed too.
My fate? That's right. The defense is fated to lose, and the prosecution to win. In other words, it all hinges on that single gunshot. So if I could just find some problem with that part of their story, it may be possible to change all our fates.
Of course, none of that changes the fact that I heard what I heard, does it?
Alright, we have the evidence we need. Not much to go on. As you've pointed out, Mr. Naruhodo, there's no question that the notice board was moved, so somebody must have done it. But it did happen after the event, so maybe Kazuma's right, and it's not relevant to the case. But it seems to have been deliberately positioned so as to hide the body from view. So I feel sure that there's some deeper significance to all of this. Yes, I know what you mean. I have no doubt there are more clues to be uncovered. You're on the right track, I can feel it. So so follow your instincts. Alright then. Alright, let's do it. Let me save also. Objection. I'm afraid that's not necessarily the case.
Oh,
At the scene, we found this key to the winder of the inspector's pocket watch. A key. And having wound the pocket watch, we discovered that in fact still works. You see, the watch didn't stop because it was broken at all. And that fact completely undermines one of the most fundamental premises on which the entire case has been built. What? Yes. He was killed before noon.
Order! 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 But counsel, the watch was stopped at almost exactly 5 o'clock.
Yeah. Which is just when we heard that gunshot.
It is exactly the hour.
The time that was showing on the watch tells us nothing other than when it was wound down. It's merely a coincidence that it happened to be at 5 o'clock.
Objection.
Objection. Even if that's true, the 3 witnesses here all heard the gunshot at 5 o'clock. So that's obviously when the crime was committed.
Objection.
Objection. No, that doesn't hold. Why not? Recall what Inspector Lestrade said only moments ago. The boss used to wind up every evening without fail when he was waiting for his grub to come out the pub. When he hadn't missed a day in the last 10 years, polishing and winding it. It meant the world to him what that watch did. The victim was in the habit of winding his watch once a day in the evening. We can reasonably assume, therefore, that he wound the timepiece on the evening before he died as well.
Yes, that would be entirely reasonable.
But if that's the case, you wouldn't expect the watch to have completely wound down by 5 o'clock the following day.
oh,
Why would you explain that then? In summary, the evening before the day of the incident, when the gunshot rang out in that room, the inspector was already unable to wind his watch. You can't mean... What would stop a man winding his watch if he's been in the habit of winding it every single evening for 10 years? The obvious answer is that he was already dead. There we go.
Order! Order! Counsel, that is the most extraordinary claim.
Objection.
Objection. Extraordinary isn't the word. It's absurd. You claimed that he was already dead the night before. Do you really think that Scotland Yard's coroner would have overlooked something like that? Well, if we look at Scotland Yard's autopsy, we can see that there's literally no time of death. There's literally no time of death. So yes, Scotland Yard's coroner did overlook something like that. Well, On that subject, there was something rather surprising. There's actually an omission in the coroner's report. Thank you! Thank you, Susato! The time of death is not noted. Ah, that's right.
Vertebrate. I'm forgetting my legs went for Underboy when I kicked the door in.
What do you mean?
Like I said, I plunged my hand in the dirty great puddle of blood.
Yes. So the victim's blood hadn't dried. It was fresh.
He catches on fast, doesn't he?
Objection. But that blood could be explained by any number of ways. It could have been put there afterwards. Some fresh blood could have been poured over the victim's body after... Objection. Does my learned friend think that the fresh blood is available on every street corner? He's calling me learned friend. Well, it needn't necessarily have been human blood, of course. We've been told previously that Scotland Yard has no way to identify blood as human.
It is currently being researched. At present, you are correct. It is beyond our abilities.
So then, a chicken's blood could have been used, for example. There's certainly a possibility that it wasn't the inspector's blood at all.
Objection!
Hi, Firmament. I hope you're doing great. Good evening. Thanks for joining. It's so good to have you.
But the gunshot was heard at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's beyond question. Is it, though? What? Given that the time of death was the time of the death of the victim was already being called into question, it isn't beyond the realms of possibility that what these witnesses heard wasn't a gunshot at all. Oh please, what are you trying to say?
Was not those we heard, and it was a loud bang that came from that their room.
Oh, he still has his freaking whip.
Now you listen to me. The street cell is yours or his livelihood.
I don't doubt your ears, sir. But you all can state with certainty it is that you heard a noise. Eh?
Explain yourself, the counsel.
A noise that sounds like a gunshot could have been made with...
Take that!
Take that. Something like this. The culprit would have set off one of these to fake a gunshot.
Oh, good gracious! The very fireworks that are sold by the witness.
Hold on a minute. Are you saying I did it? My pretty little firecrackers only make a little pop anyway. See? Not 100 of them together. The Venus special that you sell for 600 pennies sounds like this. As the court can now attest, it sounds very much like a gunshot, in fact.
Yeah. Are you trying to suggest that somebody set one of those fireworks off at the scene?
I'm suggesting that somebody knew the defendant was in the room at 5 that day, and sought to implicate him by creating a sound like a gunshot for these peddlers on Fresno Street to hear.
Objection!
Objection! But even the accused himself has testified he saw no one else at the room at the time. Whether it was a gun or firecracker, the only person present to cause the bang was Beric Van Zeeks. One whiff of a match, my firecrackers go pop. See? It's why people like them.
I fear for your fingers, young lady.
Objection!
Objection? Recently, during my time here in Britain, I've learned of a very useful invention indeed. Something called a time bomb.
Good heavens, a bomb?
Yes, a device that allows you to blow up whatever you like, whenever you like. Mr. Naruhodo, I worry about your unfortunate phrasing there. It may lead to yet another international incident. No, wait. It's the whenever you like part that's important. A time device. Yes, exactly, a time device. Something of that nature could have been planted at the scene. A device that was able to produce the sound of a gunshot long after the culprit had left.
Your extravagant claim will have to be substantiated with evidence, counsel. What proof do you have to suggest in any way that a time device was employed to create a gunshot sound?
Okie dokie, what I miss? Well, first off, welcome back, Dartuza. It's good to have you again. So, Dartuza, we are finding that, okay, somebody, the notice board was blocking Gregson's body. You were here for that. We have found out that the fireworks seller lady was the one that moved it and put it back up. She searched the room to find things to sell, and she found a pocket watch. Gregson's pocket watch. And tried selling it but failed to. The pocket watch was believed by the prosecution to have broken because it was shot. But in reality, it was used alongside the key here. The key inside this figure. The key winds up the watch, essentially. So Professor Gregson has successfully wound up the watch every day, every evening for the past 10 years. And we found that this watch stopped moving at 5 on the day of the murder, exactly when the murder happened. This means that Inspector Gregson was already dead the night before, so he couldn't wind his watch for the day. So we have found proof that he possibly was already dead before Van Zieks even got to his room. So that's where we're at currently. So we're trying to find the time of death. And so we're currently saying that the people who were lured in to become witnesses would maybe have been were maybe lured in by these firecrackers that sound like gunshots. A time device was employed to create a gunshot sound. Would it just be Gregson's watch? Let me save one more time. Just being thorough. Revolver, that's standard issue for the members of the judiciary then. Yes, and when I asked about whether the records are kept about who they're issued to, I was told that for the past 5 years they've been engraved with a unique serial number. Oh, but as far as I can tell, there's nothing like that on this gun, which tells us that it must have been issued longer ago than that. That's pretty huge. I was wanting to see if I could pull the trigger and shoot the bottom lip off of that other guy. Alright, so... let's just try the watch itself. Rejecting this could have been used as some sort of time delay device? I did think so, my lord. But it's becoming increasingly clear that we've all been very misguided here.
Objection!
Objection! Yes, by you. What? Oh, damn it. Unless the that was my second guess. I was thinking the candles could have been used. I just throw stuff out there. Yeah, exactly. I was thinking that. I was thinking the candles could have been the other thing. Of course they were. Of course the candles were the time device. They could have lit the string after a certain amount of time.
Take that!
Take that. As the court has already discussed, the tip of one of the candles on this candelabrum has been blown off. Of course, duh. Indeed, one is struck by the bullet, which presumably passed through the victim, but there's no bloodstain. I don't think that's possible, my lord. Not possible. Why? Because of the scorching. There are gunpowder scorch marks clearly visible on the broken candle.
There are? Goodness, yes. But is it not the case that there was also scorching of the victim around the bullet intrude?
That's right, there was. But as we heard earlier, scorching like that only occurs when the target is at very close range, a matter of centimeters from the gun.
Oh.
Which means that the scorching on the candle can't possibly be a result of a gunshot. There we go. Suggesting it came from the fireworks. How could it be, eh? The fact that there's such visible scorching on the candle suggests that the fireworks must have been right next to it when they exploded. Or, to put another way, the candle and firecrackers were joined together. The culprit somehow attached the firecrackers at a point partway down the candle. After the killer had left the scene, the candle slowly burnt down along with the other two, until eventually it ignited the fuse of the firecrackers, generating a loud bang. And that is how these three witnesses came to believe they'd heard a gunshot at 5 o'clock.
Well, what a plot. It is surprised that the victim could have died earlier than we've been led to believe, the previous day even. Now, just hold your horses. Oh, I just saw the victim going into the building, remember?
I couldn't forget the flame-colored hair, even if I wanted to.
The person you saw entering the building wasn't the victim at all. Considering this. Obviously, anybody can wear a wig. You wear wigs. I don't wear wigs. When will I wear wigs? So the person that these witnesses saw entering the building 15 minutes ago, before the incident occurred, could easily have been someone else entirely, wearing the red hairpiece.
Someone else? Do you mean to say?
It was the same person who contrived the firecracker trick. In other words, Inspector Gregson's killer. Oh, very impressive, Ryunosuke. Naruhodo. Kazuma? I'm really quite amazed you've come this far. But after all, wasn't I the one who told you that you had all the makings of a great defense lawyer? I also know the lack of a time of death in this report, a stark omission. But as far as I'm concerned, this whole country's justice system leaves a lot to be desired.
Order! 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 Prosecutor Osogi, what on earth do you mean by that statement?
I heard that many of the leading members of Britain's judiciary are present to observe this trial today, so we cannot allow even the slightest doubt to be overlooked. The defense's assertion about the time of death based on the victim's stopwatch is just conjecture. But, while the possibility exists that my learned friend may be correct, we have a duty to explore it.
Well, I would agree with you.
And what immediately comes to mind is, of course, what was Inspector Gregson doing, and where did he go on the day before the incident? Do you know? The inspector always carried out his investigative work alone. His movements were treated as confidential within Scotland Yard.
Within the yard?
However, considering the evidence we've been presented with so far, I'd say it's fairly apparent that what case the man was pursuing, wouldn't you, my learned friend? I do have a feeling about what case he might have been investigating. Yes, I agree. Surely. My lord, the defense believes it can explain to the court the case that was being investigated by Inspector Gregson at the time of his death.
Very well, counsel. Present your argument to the court. What evidence is suggestive of the case being investigated by the inspector on the day prior to the incident?
Take that!
Take that. I believe this red hairpiece points to the answer. We might assume it was part of a disguise used to carry out an undercover investigation.
Surely not. Such a brightly colored hairpiece would only serve to make the inspector more noticeable.
Yes, that's quite true. It would definitely have made him stand out in a crowd. Except, that is, in a crowd of gentlemen from the Red-Headed League.
Red-Headed League? So, you'd already worked it out. What on earth is all this about? Is there such an extraordinary League of Gentlemen?
Ha ha ha. Ha ha. Extraordinary League of Gentlemen. Ha ha. Ha ha. Hey, that's not nice to say about my country.
The Red-Headed League is currently under investigation for a grand deception. Deception of what nature, Council? They've been targeting red-headed men across all of London and tricking them out of small sums of money. 2 men were arrested for the misdemeanor only yesterday, in fact.
My lord, the defense calls for those 2 men to be summoned at once.
Those 2 redheads?
Inspector Gregson clearly infiltrated the Red-Headed League to use this hairpiece. Using this hairpiece. So it's very likely that he had direct contact with these criminals. And it's quite possible that such a contact led to more serious events.
I concur. That we cannot go in good conscience, leave this new avenue unexplored.
Well done, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, it's another possible line of inquiry for us at least.
The prosecution will make immediate arrangements for the charged men to appear. Bring those 2 red-headed league conspirators before we prosecute Asogi.
At once, my lord.
Very good. We'll have a 30-minute recess.
Alright.
Court is adjourned.
Hold on. I need to... Okay. I will save right here. And I'm going to consult my judicial assistant on what he thinks about this case. Do you have anything to say here, my friend?
So you've got a beautiful, crunchy, crispy top. Nice bit of filling in there. Nice big thick pastry going around the outside and the bottom. Combine that with the peas and the gravy. That's amazing.
I do think we have something extraordinary below the surface here. Let us continue. 2nd November, 12:33 p.m. The Old Bailey. Defendant's antechamber.
Oh, there you are, Odo. What kept you, my dear fellow?
Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Gina?
You sure about what you said in there? That the boss, you know, actually died the day before? It's pretty hard to swallow.
Yes, I was shocked by the revelation too, Gina.
As was I, possibly more shocked than both of you.
It's not a competition, Mr. Sholmes. But I was more shocked than all of you put together.
This is the autopsy report in question, is it?
Yes. It's strange that there's no time of death noted. I suppose there's a simple explanation, or perhaps it was a deliberate omission. Oh dear. If it was deliberate, it puts me in mind of the last case we worked on, and Dr. Scythe. I know. Anyway, it seems that the day before Lord Van Deeks discovered his body, Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League, so perhaps something happened with them. Could you imagine if, like, the new coroner is, like, just goofy? I would love that. Come to think of it. You had trouble with those League men too, didn't you, Mr. Sholmes? You were, taken in by their trick.
No. Naturally, I wasn't taken in, as you put it. My sleuth-hounded interest was merely piqued slightly by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income.
And that scent masked the underlying scent of deception, I suppose. The 2 criminals in question were the pair we saw being arrested yesterday, aren't they? In Mr. Sholmes' suite, I mean.
That's right, Suze. And it was me what took 'em in. Thanks to a tip-off by a good law-abiding citizen.
Indeed. Yours truly. So it's going to be that pair in the witnesses stand next, is it? Something doesn't quite make sense to me, though. The day before Inspector Gregson was found, you hadn't had trouble with the Red-Headed League yet, had you? Why would the inspector have been investigating them? Well, the likely explanation would be that Gregson's own sleuthhound interest was piqued by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income. Don't tar with him in the same brush as you, Sholmes. Yes, well... Runiski walks up to Venzix. Alright, we got 30 minutes. Drop those trousers! Venzix is like, I'll give you 3 minutes. Dang, it's been way too long, rate my takeaway. It has been way too long. He comes up at important times. Then there's the whole issue of Inspector Gregson being investigated by Lord Venzix for some reason. The Reaper. The Red-Headed League. Inspector Gregson. Lord Venzix. And Cosimo. I feel as though he knew we'd arrived at this point somehow. Gosh, I think you're right. What's he really trying to achieve here today? All the answers will soon be revealed. Observe the time, my dear fellow. The recess will be over very shortly. Yes, you're right. Cosimo was determined that he should be the one to prosecute this trial, and he was determined that I should take the defense. Just what is it that he's hoping to make me see, I wonder? I get the feeling we're a long way from the end of this trial yet. Are you ready then, Mrs. Sato? Yes.
Why are we not having more pies at fish shops? Because some of them now, they don't even do them. Here we go.
Here we go. Indeed. That timing was fucking phenomenal. Holy fuck. That timing was incredible. I literally just played the video where we left off on it. And he literally said, here we go, right when it continued. Fuck. Oh, God, okay. The resistance is ending. Just enough time to give Venzix a throw pie. And then I hereby declare this court to be in session again. It is in the closed court hearing of Barak Venzix. Here present who stands accused of murder. Now then, Prosecutor Asselby. My lord. Have you summoned the witnesses as requested? Yes. The 2 members of the Red-Headed League who planned and carried out the deception. They arrived not long ago from the local prison by police carriage. Very good. Bailiff, usher the 2 men into the courtroom. These fucking stupid little... These 2 men are currently being held by police on suspicion of attempted extortion. You may omit your occupations, but state your names for you state your names now for the court. I am Fabien de Rousseau, a descendant of the great de Rousseau family from Nice in France. And my name is Peppino de Rossi. I am the 3rd son of the great Familia de Rossi, the landowners from Napoli. The 2 men first became acquainted at a boarding school for European nobility. Souls who graduate from Temsic as the future leaders of Europe. But, do you have any idea how boring it is to be born of his noble blood? Alors, I make it my mission to get the better of the world by employing the little grey cells of my brain. That is all I'm trying to do. Oh. So, that's the only reason for this whole grand deception you've been carrying out. Oui. You could say that. Not bad, He has the grand ideas, but the petty plans. This strange combination is at the charm of the hilarious brothers. Sorry, it slowly became Swedish. The hilarious brothers. Diddle Dumb and Diddle Dumber, exactly, Darchie's. What does the RHL do? The Red-Headed League? So, the Red-Headed League in here is just have any men with red hair join the league, and you're paid £4 a week, supposedly. So, yeah. It's just a scam operation, to my knowledge. I imagine in actual Sherlock Holmes it has to do with the murder, maybe, but that's all I know. I like the little guy. He's cute. He's funny. I have to admit, these two are goofy, but I kind of they're charming. Unlike the dude with the lip that I hated to look at. See, Keppel? I fucking hate you. Listen to me, Peppino. I have 2 things to say to you. Che, are you gonna tell me one of your grandy anecdotes? Viva! Firstly, I want you to stop calling me this Keppel. And secondly, we are not the hilarious brothers. This is serious business. Che bello, there it is. The Keppel's a trump card, the furrowed brow. It is deep, O Keppel. The furious and the meaning of your words. Sorry. These voices are so fucking dumb. The court has been led to believe that under the banner of the Red-Headed League, you have conspired to swindle money from unsuspecting members of the public. Is this true? Oui, c'est ça. What exactly was the nature of the deception by which you planned to defraud? Lord, I will explain it. No, Keppel. Leave it to me. As you see, we both had the vivid red hair, no? At school, we were teased for this without pity. The Keppel here, he was many times behind the schoolhouse crying like the Trevi fountain. Wee! Those dogs, one sees the world will respect us redheads. Every night, we would bury a head in his pillow and weep for the injustice. C'est bien, Peppino, enough. I will explain the rest. The first step was in the newspaper advertisement. About 1 week before the plan was put into operation, we listed the same notice in every paper in London. The 2 criminal Mario and Luigi were good for the last game. I mean, I think they're great. Ridiculousness included. I appreciate that too. Cool. Yes, we saw the notice. It was this one, I believe, entitled, To the Red-Headed League. Oui, c'est ça. I'm honored that you've seen it. It states that the only condition for joining the league is having flame-colored hair, and that if you satisfy the interview panel and are admitted into the league, you could receive a weekly income of £4. On the date specified, red-headed hopefuls gathered in droves at a park specified in the advertisement. And from each person present, this pair took an application fee of 5 shillings. Excuse me. And with the money, 2 friends. It was a plan most elegant, no? No, it was most dishonorable. But to be frank, I'm stunned anybody was foolish enough to be taken in by such an obvious trick. The park was described by one witness as choked with red-headed folk, like a coster's orange barrow. And the day on which all these men gathered to apply was the day before the victim was discovered. Crucially, these 2 men spoke face to face with every single person present at that day. That's quite a lot of effort. Oui, I have seen more red-headed people in one day than I will see in the rest of my life. See, and now every time I see the couple's hair, I feel sick to my stomach. Anyway, why have we been summoned here today? Sorry? The date for our trial was not until tomorrow, I was told. Naturally, neither of these men have been told any details about this trial. They've only been shown this photograph. Very good. So, Mr. de Rousseau and Mr. de Rossi, you will now give your formal testimony for the court. Of the subject of the gentleman pictured in this photograph. Wait a minute. Rousseau and Rosie? Is that supposed to be a joke? Like, he's supposed to be Russell's potatoes, and he is supposed to be Rosie tomatoes? Is that what the joke is? Is he supposed to be potatoes, and the other guy's supposed to be tomatoes? That'd be really funny. Of course, we're always ready to help with the law. No, you're not. You're a criminal. Does he have 2 swords? He does have 2 swords, King. In conclusion, redheads are exceptionally gullible. The man in the photograph. We had more than 1,000 red-headed people assembled in the park on Lime Street that day. But I don't recall the man in this photograph. A couple? None. I don't remember him. Obviously, he's dead now, but I assure you he was not in the park. Laura, this victim was nothing to do with us. I have a lot to answer for, Peppino. It is your fault that we got caught in the first place. I want a pretzel for some reason. Given sworn testimony that this man in the photograph was not present, can you be certain? Oui, I am quite certain. We did not interview this man. Nobody looking like us came to the park, this I can promise.
Most retorted that you were arrested for grand deception, however. Accordingly, this court has little confidence in your assurances.
Uffa, with this attitude, we get to nowhere. He's really sulking now.
This confidential document was obtained directly from Scotland Yard. It records an entry from the inspector's private diary dated the day before the incident. It reads, Lime Street, Red-Headed League, undercover.
Ah, I have the answer. Maybe there was another similar event in the park on the day in question, eh? That is ridiculous. There's no question that Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League, which means it's quite possible that's when he was killed. It's impressive at this point in time, bunch of limeys.
Very well, then first we'll proceed with the cross-examination now.
Ah, yes, my lord. Cross-examination. The man in the photograph. We had more than 1,000 redheads assembled in the park on Lime Street that day. Hold it. 1,000 people. That's a very big crowd. It was quite a spectacle. Redheads. Oh, yeah, sir. Redheads that come from all over the capital. See, the couple here, he must have magnetismo animale, eh? Nobody else could attract so many people. If I could be born again, I would be born the capo. All those people wanted to see the money, Pepuno. The £4 per week.
Are you suggesting that you spoke personally with all 1,000 applicants?
Oui, is that we did. Because every one of them paid us 5 shillings. We take their names and we take their money and we take their addresses as well. Then I tell them we take us some days to let them know by a post, finito, maybe 2 minutes a person. We stay early in the morning and we stop late in the night. That's crazy operation. So you're at 5,000 shillings in one day? That's a small fortune. I will stay hydrated. Thank you, Bull. Also, it was good to see you, Bull. I hope you're doing wonderful. Just get back from house stuff. Awesome, Bull. Well, it's good to have you again, my friend. Good to have you. See, both you and Darces have been working on house stuff. Hydrated. Awesome. Well, it's good to have you. We're in the middle of solving murder. Who'd have thought there were 1,000 such gullible redheads in London to start with? One of whom was a great detective with chemically altered haircut. But I don't recall the man in this photograph, Capo? Hold it. He doesn't look at all familiar. No, I don't think so. And this is a way guy. He was tricking. He was trying to trick us. I do not like the people who are trying to trick the other people, says the con artist. In between them, they interviewed 1,000 people with red hair. It would be unreasonable to expect them to remember every face. No, Signora. I may be small, but my memory is very large. I never forget a thing. In my opinion, I do not think this man was in the park. He's not going to give the court a definite, it seems. Hey, Capo. I didn't see a man like this, huh? No, I don't remember him. Obviously, he is dead now, and I assure you, he was not in the park.
Hold it!
Hold it. But according to what you've said, you spoke with 1,000 or more people that day. That's true. My eyes were burning by the end of the day. Surely then you can't actually remember every single face. How are you so certain that this particular man wasn't present? Normally, the red hair is very distinctive, eh? But not when you have 1,000 red hairs crowding around, then it is just an eyesore. But if there was some other information you could have given us, maybe we could recall. That is not the line, Peppino. Remember, we do not remember him. We are sure of the fact. Stupid. Just don't rehearse your forged testimony script in front of lawyers, you idiots. If there was a man with a red hairpiece, but his mustache did not match the color, then I do not think I could have forgotten him. Kazuma said these two had only been shown that photograph, and they'd been told nothing else at all. But what if I fed them just another detail about the victim? For example, his fish and chips. I can certainly appreciate that just knowing the man had red hair wouldn't help you remember the situation. But what if I told you that the man was always munching on a packet of fish and chips? Do you remember a man who was eating incessantly? Not really. I was looking only at the heads of the applicants. I wouldn't have noticed the fish and chips any more than the caviar and smoked salmon. Or a spaghetti. Me, I love spaghetti. Really? I had no idea. Tell them again what you said before, Peppino. Si, Capo, si. I say it again and again. Let's try that again.
Hold it!
His profession. I can certainly appreciate that just knowing the man had red hair wouldn't help you remember in this situation. Oh wait, if I say detective, they're gonna think it's Herlock. But what if I told you that the man in the red hairpiece was actually a detective? The man is a photograph, a detective. Yes. It would appear he found your notice and the paper suspicious and decided to investigate incognito. Oh, never mind, that one worked. Sorry, but this changes nothing.
Excuse me!
Excuse me? Something to add, Mr. DeRossi? Sure. See, I'm always adding something. Parmesan, olive oil, pepper. He's making me hungry. What I mean is, did you not agree with your friend's last remark by any chance? Huh? What did he say? What did he just say about the detective? Yes, that. Keep your mouth shut, Peppino. We have said enough already. But the why, Capo? What is the problem? There was a man who said, I am an inspector from Scotland Yard. What?
Good lord.
Interesting.
Order. Read this. Vote for each of your testimony, witness.
It's simple. A man who was at the park said to... There was no such man. But What are you saying, Capo? Have you forgotten, I have forgotten nothing. Nobody like this came to the park. Basta, Capo, basta. You beat me there many times, but not to the memory and the meals. Like I said, when is the time to eat the pasta? There is no one is a faster. But you are inferior to me in every other way. So shut up.
Objection!
Objection. Oh. Go. Drop Todd. The damage is done. Indeed it is, sir. There was a man who came to the park and he said he was an inspector from Scotland Yard. However, it looked nothing like the man in the photograph. It was someone else. How can you be so sure? Because, it was obvious, his face was completely different. See, it's true. The man who came was a younger. His face was clean shaven, his eyes were sadder, his chin was thinner. It's freaking Herlock. No resemblance whatsoever then. Anyway, I was not going to be fooled. I took the obvious precautions and said to him, if you're really a detective, show us the proof. See, the couple here, he doesn't take no nonsense, aye? But he was well prepared. He said he had identification. Identification? You mean official police inspector's identification? That is most unconvincing. Sorry, my lord? Consul, no incognito inspector would offer his identification for the inspection. It's quite out of the question. Definitely. Why would he expose his true identity? Clearly the papers were fake. Certo capo, you are a genius. As we say in Italia, it takes a thief to recognize another, right? And what happened after he announced that he was a detective? He became very annoying. He said, you are under investigation. So I took his papers from him and chased him out of the park. It was fantastico. And look, there's identification. Oh! So you stole it from the man. He had it coming. He made us very scared. But he was not who he said he was.
Indeed, the person described does not appear to have behaved as a true inspector would. However, I believe it would be prudent for these identification papers to be entered into evidence.
But I like them. Well, I suppose we should see what this inspector's identification looks like inside. Okay. Yes, it definitely looks fake, doesn't it? Out of interest, what name is given? Probably just something plucked out of the air. It's Tobias Gregson. Wait, what? The Scotland Yard insignia looks genuine to me, but how? And the department and identification number details are all correct as well. Since when have you known those? Do you mean to say... I know it seems incredible, but yes. I think this is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. But that's unbelievable. This is the real thing after all. What? Somebody had his identification. Oh, that's freaky.
Now let's return to witness's testimony.
Let's see. Wait, what if I go back to this?
Hold it!
What about his name? I can certainly appreciate that just knowing the man had red hair wouldn't help you remember this in this situation. What if I told you that the man's name was Gregson? This man is a photograph is a Monsieur Gregson. Yes. Names, they are boring. I do not listen to any of them. Oh. It was not a real interview, huh? It was just for a show. Why would I remember the names? That's right. This changes nothing. See, man, the photograph was not there, and we've already said. See. She deserves to be gained for pursuing that point further. Tell them again what you said before, Peppino. Hold it. We won't have your word for that. See, but what else can we do, huh? True. Oof. We are not having much fun these days. First we are arrested, then we are shown the horrible picture of a dead man. And now you question every single thing we say. We are the victims here. I capo? No. You were caught carrying out a plot to swindle hundreds of innocent people. Huh. You want to bring that up, eh? It is not fair. I capo? You have a lot to answer for, Peppino. It is your fault that we got caught in the first place.
Hold it!
Okay. What do you mean by that? Chavolo? Chavolo, you promised not to say I capo? After we had taken all the monies that day, we should have left the country. That was my plan. I left the purchasing of the tickets to the ferry to Dunkirk to my companion here. But he bought them for the wrong day. Oops. See, but it's an easy mistake to make, huh? This is the 31st. Oof. I have no sympathy for you. We're an all day late for the boat because of your stupidity. That's only because of this so-called great red-headed detective caught us. Capo, you know what I think? This is a great work of God. It is wholly a punishment, aye? Peppino, for the last time. This is not only punishment. This is only your fault. Don't blame God for your unholy mistakes. You are making me sick with anger. Maybe I make a mistake, but when it's time to eat the pasta, no one is a faster. Stupid. And I've seen the evidence. Stretch. Okay, awesome. They haven't told us much we didn't already know. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, if it was in the inspector's diary, it seems likely that he must have gone to Lime Street that day. And yet, these two both claim they didn't see him. I have to say, they don't appear to be telling lies. Well, they are experts in deception, don't forget. Sounding plausible is their specialty. They may be lying simply to avoid being implicated in this case as well. Surely, if they were truly experts in deception, they wouldn't have been caught. Well, yes. You do have a point there. It seems to me like we need more information. Definitely. But the passport that you have was his. Objection. I wonder if I could ask you to examine this identification book very close. Miss Lestrade. Why Miss Lestrade? What is your attention here, Council? Is this really a fake or is it genuine? That's the question. Which we can't answer ourselves.
Objection!
Objection. Don't be ridiculous. No Scotland Yard detective would allow his or her identification to be stolen. Hold it. That is the boss's. No question about it. It can't be. As I suspected. The undercover detective who attended the Red-Headed League's enrollment on the day in question was the real Inspector Gregson, carrying out an incognito investigation. So Lord! Order! Order! But if the boss had his identification stolen, he would have reported it straight away. I mean, he was already he was always on me about it. If you lost something, report it at once, he'd say. Could it be then? The inspector was physically unable to report it. Physically? What are you saying? Unable to. You're not suggesting. Yes, it's quite possible that he was killed before he had the chance to report his identification stolen. No. Oh, crazy. Order. Order! Order! The defense posits that the victim was killed the day before his body was discovered, at a different location. Do you two have anything to say about that? Wait, I know nothing. Wait, I know I done nothing. Police us together, Pepino. Mandu, you could have a little more like a master criminal than that, non? Wait, you can behave a little more like a master criminal than that, non? Wait, now I wish I had returned to Italia. Wait. Stop crying, Pepino, please. Otherwise, Man, just stop your whining and start talking. These two fucking bozos. They're so stupid. They're so stupid. Well, I believe the court will need to hear your story in considerably greater detail. I know nothing away. I don't know nothing away. You will tell everything, or face the worst possible outcome. You will dry your eyes and testify again about these identification papers at the precise circumstances under which you came by them. For crying out loud. Just airing my body out for a sec. Okay. Oh, good. If he was dead already, this was a ploy to get visibility on him in a public place, so thereby throw out the idea of suspecting it by having seen him. But the Pocket Watch thwarts that attempt to misdirect with him being alive that day. Yeah, it does seem like that. It definitely does seem like like if he was. Well, I mean, well, him being alive the prior day only thwarts it if the suspect knew that we were going to find the broken pocket watch, and it would contradict that, but it wouldn't hide his death because him being alive the prior day would have nothing to do with an alibi, considering that the attempt to obfuscate was based on Van Zeek's killing him. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. Word an aspect of that poorly? Oh, fair. Open the body windows and air it out. I would like to do that. I would like air to flow into me and out of me. Maybe through some sort of orifice in my face. No way. Okay, all good. The detective and the identification. The truth is, we took a prisoner and kept him for the night at our secret hideout. What? Even though I didn't think he was a real detective, I was too scared to let him go that day, just in case. What? We took the man's identification from him and shut him in the room next to ours. There might have been a little tussle, but we did him no harm. And the next morning, we let them go. What? He spent the night in a nice room. It was nothing like prison, really. These people stole a guy?
This is outrageous. You imprisoned the man?
But no, no, it was not like a prison. He was very comfortable and calm and happy. Hi, Capo. It was never part of my plan, I swear it. Oofa. So you think it was my fault, huh? Just because I got the date of the ferry wrong. Oh, just one little a day. Do not think it was your fault, Peppino. I know it. No, por favor, Capo. It is not fair.
So plenty of time for going back to the prison, gentlemen.
Oh, I don't believe this. How could I have been real detective?
After the defense, please proceed with the cross-examination.
So on the day before the incident, Gregson spent the night confined in this pair's hideout. Cross-examination. Detective and the identification. Deruso's crying animation is really pretty. It is. I will admit.
Hold it!
Do you realize what you're saying? You have to believe me. I never intended for that to happen. And I'm sure the detective did not intend either. Do you think? But there was nothing else I could do. See, nothing else. This was the first crime for the capo. He was at the end of his wits. I've told you before, Peppino, that is not the way to describe criminal mastermind. What about this hideout of yours? An old empty house behind the park on Lime Street. I rented the place for 2 days. It was an inspired idea by the capo here.
An impulsive idea, I would say.
No, not impulsive, inspired. Aye, capo? What am I supposed to say to that, Peppino? Sorry, give me just a moment. Okay, all good. And it was the house described that you confined Inspector Gregson, was it? Oui. But you have to remember, it was under his impression that he was a pretender, not a real inspector. That doesn't quite add up, though. If you didn't think the man was a real inspector, there would have been no reason to take him prisoner, would there? No, you're right, though. But we couldn't be completely certain. Even though I didn't think he was a real detective, I was too scared to let him go that day, just in case. Just in case of what? Too scared? Why? Because why did he come to the park? We didn't know. There was a chance that he had seen through my plan. And if that wasn't the case, he would go straight to the police station to blow a whistle on us. Even if it was just feigning to be an inspector, he was up to no good, without a doubt. I think most people would agree. that it's you two who were up to no good. Well, see, you may be right, Capo. The point is, we were not able to escape from England immediately. That is why we had no choice but to take the man prisoner. What I don't understand is why the inspector felt the need to show you his identification in the first place. See, I asked myself the same question. Excuse me. We were writing down the names of the addresses of all of the people who took 5 shillings from that day. I've forgotten what name he said, but the address startled me. See, address, Scotland Yard Homicide Division, he said. What? What? You probably didn't like your face, Peppino. Anyway, I was not rude, I just politely asked him why he had said it. And that's when he started to say he was an inspector. Not long afterwards, he took out his identification. What was Inspector Gregson playing at? Tell the court what happened next. You took him back to your hideout, you said. See, we took the man's identification from him and shut him in the room next to ours. Hold it. That being this identification book here, correct? You see, that is the one. What made you believe that it was forgery? I've never seen a real one, of course. He was so suspicious, this man. Allora, I was thinking, it must be a falso, capo? Oui. It was just as Peppino said. We were convinced it was not genuine. And so together, the hilarious brothers, we took the man captive. All we did was shove him inside a locked room. So we made preparations to transport all of the money. And for a penny, in for a pound. So there might have been a little tussle. We did him no harm. The next morning we let him go. Hold it. What did you mean by a little tussle exactly? Well, it was nothing, just a minor incident. The falso inspector, he's a real piece of the work, capo. It happened. Uffa, it was a disaster. We gave him a nice room, and what does he do, huh? In the middle of the night, he tries to escape through a ventilator, Can you blame him? We chased him, bien, sir. And we caught him again. Can you all blame us? Yes. Wait, you didn't shoot the man in your haste, did you? Who do you think we are? Of course not. I simply called him again and took him back to his room. Excuse me. Mr. De Rossi, is there something wrong? Hi? Me? Something Mr. De Rosso just said seemed to make you, well, it seemed to make you act even more strangely than usual. What was that all about? Cavolo, at times like that, you don't want to have the capo after you, believe me. And I speak of the personal experience. Personal experience? That is enough, Peppino. There is no need to say more. The truth is, the night before we put the Redhead League man into the plan into action, I was scared. It was not fair to the capo, but I tried to run away. It's a shame you didn't manage it. But the capo here, he came after me like the turbine, and he dragged me back to the house, kicking and screaming. I still have the bruises to prove it, capo? Bruises, you sure? You want to see you? You want to see my fantastical bruises? That's enough now, Peppino. No one wants to look at any part of you. What to do? I show you, or I don't. I show you, or I don't. You do. Now. Allora, if everyone wants to see, then I do it. Oh. Wait, the neck bruise. Wait, then he's the one who gave the bruise to the to gossip, to the gossip guy. That red ring around your neck. You got that when you were dragged back to the house? See, the capo. Sometimes he's I said that's enough. Pino's neck has nothing to do with what we're talking about here. You have my word. Yes. What is your opinion, Council? But this red ring around Mr. DeRossi's neck, I wonder, does it matter? It is important. Mr. DeRossi, I'm going to have to ask you to amend your testimony with details about the mark on your neck. Hi, Capo. You see? Everyone is interested in what I say. I love it.
Very well, you will amend your testimony as requested, Mr. DeRossi.
See, if you really want to know. He tried to escape, but the Capo put the collar on him and dragged him back. Like what he did to a collar. He has no collar line.
Hold it!
Are you saying that red mark was caused by... See, a big collar made from the leather. A leather collar? So does that mean... Thin neck looked younger? Yeah. The gossip guy was the one. He stole the ID and went there with the wig. It was him. Is this true, Mr. DeRusso? What? What, that Saint Bernard at home when we had a Saint Bernard at home when I was younger. It was a souvenir from that time. It was a very strong chain. A strong chain. And you put it around your friend's neck. I'm sorry. I was so angry that he was leaving me alone. You did not have to tie the chain to his leg at the bed, oh? I thought I'd have to try to run again. This is like... You didn't do that to Inspector Gregson as well, did you? Treat as the people equal is the Cavalier's motto. This is actually like a horrifying case. This is actually like a horrifying case without all like the goofy framing aside. This is actually really scary. It's starting to sound a lot more like a prison all of a sudden. The capo is a tough, but the capo is a rough. I shouldn't have done it. So, the following morning when you released the inspector, he had the red ring around his neck, just like me. Pepito, s'il vous plaît, leave it now. Now you know, the capo here don't want to tangle with them, but for the inspector, it's not so bad. So you see, upbeat music for real though, yeah. Objection. So the day before his body was discovered, Inspector Gregson was taken prisoner while working incognito. No, it was not like that. It was hardly a prison, it was an invitation to stay. It was only. However you describe it, there's one glaring inconsistency that remains.
What inconsistency is this, Counsel?
I would ask the court to look closely at this photograph of the victim, Inspector Gregson. You will see that there is no red ring visible around his neck. Huh? But that makes no sense. It was me who took the collar off the man in the morning, and I saw the red bruise on his neck, just like I have. Given that the mark is so clearly visible on his witness's neck, you'd expect to see bruising on the victim, who was put in the collar more recently than Mr. DeRossi.
Indeed, the matter is most peculiar. That is most peculiar.
But what do we tell you, huh? We say this from the beginning, many times, Peppino was right. This man is a photograph. It's someone different to this man. We are captives at night. He even cries in Italian. It's really funny. Order. 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 It would appear then that on the day before the incident, the man who visited the park on Lime Street posing as an incognito inspector was not Inspector Gregson at all. Objection. If that's true, however, how do you explain the inspector's identification? Yeah, exactly. This is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. It's inconceivable that someone could have stolen such an important item from the inspector. The prosecution made the assertion itself. And we also know that the inspector had made a note about the Red-Headed League in his diary for that day, which surely means that we can't divorce the two events completely. The inconsistency noted by the defense is most troubling. If it were the real Inspector Gregson from these two Red-Headed judgment encountered, the fact that no bruising can be seen around his neck defies explanation. Equally, if he actually encountered an imposter, how did the person come to be in possession of the real inspector's identification? I will stay hydrated. Thank you, Brad Guy. Does the defense have some plausible explanation, counsel? The whole thing defies explanation. It is for precisely these occasions that we keep meticulous notes in the court record, Mr. Naruhodo. Because those are the facts, and the facts cannot lie. No, the facts can't lie. Even when they point out something incredible, it's almost unbelievable. Whoops. I don't need to look at it. I know what it is going to be. Well, my lord, the true identity of the person who turned up in the park for the Red-Headed League's enrollment is revealed by the information in the court record, I believe. Good gracious. Very tantalizing, Mr. Naruhodo. So why don't you help us all see whatever the truth... So why don't you help us all see whatever truth it is that you have apparently seen? Who exactly was this inspector that appeared before Mr. DeRusso and Mr. Rossi? An imposter. Though it seems incredible, I admit the undeniable facts point to only one thing. Since no bruising can be seen on the victim's neck, the person who these two red-headed men took prisoner that day cannot have been Inspector Gregson. In other words, your whole argument up to now has been a waste of time. Objection. On the contrary, I haven't finished. What? There was no bruising on the victim's neck, so the question immediately posed next is, who exactly was this man in the park on Lime Street found to be carrying Inspector Gregson's identification? See, that's right. We tell the same story every time. Whoever this man was, the cable dragged him from a pillar to a post with a dog collar. Mon Dieu, Peppino, it was not so harsh as to say, eh? So who was the false inspector, eh? Who was he? Clearly, the defense has an idea about that. About the true identity of the man these two imprisoned that night. I must ask the counsel for the defense to elaborate post-haste. Who do the witnesses encounter in the park posing as Inspector Gregson?
Take that!
Take that. Cosmo calling on Mr. Naruhodo instead of Ryunosuke. Whew. Pulls that collar. Whew. Whew. Goodness me. Is it that? One of the witnesses who was in the stand in this very courtroom earlier today. A nameless man whose only occupation appears to be peddling hearsay to passersby. What on earth would a street seller be doing with the police inspector's identification papers? Witnesses, is this the man or not? What has happened to his lip? See, this man is not the red-headed league. Is not for the red-headed league. He is looking for the twisted lip league, no? Perhaps rather than making such a rash claim next time, you should bite your lip instead. It seems improbable, yes, but one undeniable fact remains. During his testimony earlier, I noted something around the man's neck. A red ring of bruising. Eh? What? The defense demands that Mr. Gossip be brought back to the stand.
Order! Order! Bailiff! Bring the aforementioned witness back into the courtroom. Immediately.
Why are they so proud of it?
Well, I never. An undeniable ring of bruising indeed. And identical to that of the witness beside him. What's going on here, eh? Why should this be? It's a birthmark, isn't it?
I lost a sneeze. Damn it. He's so proud of his neck marks. He is. A birthmark, you say? I assume the reason you've been recalled to the stand has been explained to you. Hey, something about an inspector again? Well, I'm telling you, you got it all wrong as usual.
You got us wrong as usual.
You're denying all knowledge of it?
Well, of course I am. Are you trying to kill me with all this nonsense, eh?
Well, at least you'll have more stories to pedal back onto Fresno Street, won't you? Now we're going to need to we're going to need you to testify again. And you, Mr. DeRusso and Mr. DeRussi, I'm sure you'll cooperate, won't you? We have any choice? We're in a bigger trouble, Capo.
Just quite enough dilatory chatter. Proceed with the testimony.
Real quick, this isn't going to be a full meal. I'm going to just go grab a snack because I'm gonna go grab a snack. I've been thinking about pretzels for some reason. I want to go see if I have a pretzel and grab it, and I will be right back. This shouldn't take that long at all. Like, give me like literally 5 minutes. I want something in my stomach. Okay, be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let's do this. Okay. Proceed with the testimony. Thank you. The inspector and the identification revisited. Is the man who claimed to be the inspector that day was definitely not this man. He's right, see? You'd think we wouldn't forget those grand lips, eh? I never leave Fresno Street, alright? I ain't no interest in any red-headed league. I'm all over the world, me. I'm no kinfolk or nothing. That's why would I be involved in something like that? Just look at me, huh? It didn't look like I could carry off disguise with a face like this. Going back. Thank you, Dartiza. Thank you, Tukul. It certainly appears that we have the wrong man. What I have been telling you, huh? There is no need for this pointless testimony. Ugh. That's right, I'm just a simple peddler, remember? Fresno Street's all I know. How could I have come by a police inspector's identification book, eh? Well, yes, that's hard to explain, but... Always cross-examination, I think, counsel. Very brief. Ugh. Isn't there anyone in this courtroom who thinks I might be onto something? I sense steadfastly at your side as always, Mr. Naruhodo. Hi again, thank you, King. So the testimony, is it... How's your feeling, Mr. Naruhodo? I didn't mean to click through the end. Well, what Mr. Gossip says is undeniable. It will be all but impossible to hide those lips with any form of disguise. Perhaps yes, but nevertheless, the mark around his neck is equally undeniable. And is identical to the one that Mr. de Rossi suffered. Yes, that's true. Why does this whole disguise idea just keep playing on my mind? Hi Bao, how are you doing? What's up? How are you? It's good to see you. I hope you're doing wonderful. Holy shit. Wait a minute. Oh my god. Wait, they have the same hair curls and the same eyebrows. And they both have thin, long faces. The hair is parted down the middle. His nose and his lips are different. But they have the same thin physique, they're tall, their hair's parted in the middle, it's curled up into a ball at the end, and their eyebrows have lines striking through them like this. And he says that he doesn't have a name. He appears to have no particularly distinctive facial features. Holy shit. So you say, but how can you be quite so certain? There is no need to hurt your hands on the desk, monsieur. Surely the reason is obvious, non? Because I have never before seen lips like this. Nevertheless, there's a clear red mark around Mr. Gossip's neck, and looks very much like that left behind on the neck of your colleague by your prize caller. Mon Dieu, with your words, it is like you're trying to wring my neck. It does look very much like my neck, though, No, this is a birthmark, lad.
The bitch left it and decked to die for the broken mold where they may be.
For the first time in my life, I feel lucky to have born with red hair. I thought being Japanese made you stand out in London. So you maintain that you've never seen this man before? Oui, c'est ça. I swear it to the flames in my hair. So fierce pride has outgrown the frustration with your hair now, has it? He's right, see? You think we would forget those grand lips, huh? Hold it. Well, yes, I don't imagine I'll forget those lips in a hurry either. This is what I'm saying. For some reason, it makes me want to eat. How did Fabian call it? An eclair. Don't compare his lips to an eclair. Oh, God. You know, I've never seen the hair as black as yours before either. Likewise, I'd never seen red hair like yours until I came to Britain. You see, maybe it's a national trait, huh? Maybe all the people from this man's country have a great grand lips, eh?
No, lad, I was born right here in Fresno Street. I've never left.
Oofa, that is a problem, I see. So you definitely didn't go to the park on Lime Street that day, Mr. Gossip.
How many times do you want me to say it, huh? I've never leave Fresno Street, alright? I've no interest in any red-headed league.
Hold it!
If I have bouncing like that, I hate it too. I hate it too, Bull. I hate it so much. So you'd heard of the Red-Headed League, had you?
Don't get a name like Gossip for nothing, huh? It's my business to know what's going on in town. I sold that tasty tidbit for a fair few redheads that came past me. Just between us, I've got savage to cough up for it.
Oh my god. I like how the portrait popped up. Well, he does have a very red nose, if that counts. Who knows?
As you can see, my hair's not got a hint of red in it. And in any case, Fresno Street's my patch. You'll catch me sliding off some other part of town. No, sir, not likely.
Oh.
Excuse me.
Excuse me? Mr. De Rosso?
Oh.
Oui. Can I help you? Did Mr. Gossip's word just now lead to you to remember something relevant, perhaps? It was the other day, when I was looking for a place near the park. A smart house or something. To be the headquarters of your Red-Headed League, yes. I visited an housing agent on Lime Street, and there I saw him. This man was paying money to the agent. What?
I mean, what?
Mr. Gossip with a housing agent? We had some kind of contract in his, and they were clearly discussing terms.
But no, you're mistaken, chum. I never left Fresno Street be, like I said before. You mistaken me for someone else. Someone with the same face.
No, the capo was right. I remember it too. It was a paying the man with the banknotes.
With notes? Like I said, that wasn't me.
I was curious why this man with the dirty clothes had much money. So I looked at the name on the papers. And that name was written Mr. Gossip? No, it wasn't. It was Mr. Vigil. No, this man, he lies. He tells you that he has no name. But in fact, his name is Hugh Boone. Oh, Hugh Boone, huh? He's better than Mr. Gossip, I think, you see? No!
I'm totally peddler tidbits of information, like I said. I'm frustrated, that's that. I don't know much, like, folk talking about my personal life. Indeed. It is not the intention of the court to invade the privacy of the witnesses. Very well, I shall respect your wishes, sir. The aforementioned names shall be redacted for all the court records of this trial, assuming no objection.
Objection, 100% objection. I'm sorry, my lord, but the defense does object. Because the name just mentioned has a very deep significance to this case.
Oh, good gracious. Do you similarly object, Prosecutor Asugi?
As it happens, my lord, that particular name has already been mentioned during today's proceedings.
I never... In what capacity?
Hugh Boone, the name of the leaseholder of the room. Let me put this very simply. The victim's body was discovered in your rented home, your rented room. I suggest, sir, that you start talking.
Oh, alright. I suppose that might be the case.
So your real name is Hugh Boone.
Well, just between us, I don't like to blow my own trumpet, but there's one fighter peddler of tidbits in town. So I happen to be able to afford a grubby little room in a falling down backstreet townhouse. You do? And once every 6 months, I go and pay the rent to the agent on Lime Street. I remember now, there were 2 vulgar redheads in there last time.
Aye? If other verses are vulgar, it is not the me. Think again, Peppino. Why didn't you bring this up before?
It's like I told you already. I don't like talking about my personal life. I'm a tidbit peddler as far as everyone else is concerned. No fuss.
We'll update your testimony to include this most surprising revelation, Mr. Boone. If I must. So the leaseholder of Scotland Yard has been looking for since the body was discovered. Has been here under our noses all along.
I rent the room there when the fellow was found, it's true. What difference it makes.
Okay. I don't think we have anything for now.
Hold it!
So, you live in that room presumably, do you?
No, I don't live there. What do you think? There's no bed, is there? Just a desk.
Then, why would you want to rent it?
Well, I don't think I should have to say, really.
Then how about the notice board in there? Which was covered from top to bottom in confidential documents only the police should have access to.
No, that board's not mine.
The inspector must have brought it along. It's the only other bits and bobs that belong to me. The desk and the chair and that. People don't generally carry enormous notice boards around with them. The real question is, why was Inspector Gregson killed there, in your room?
Well, obviously, I've not the faintest idea. I mean, it's causing me no end of bother, to be honest.
Seems to me that Mr. Boone, would rather as little known about his room as possible for some reason. Yes, it does come across that way. And more importantly, knowing that the scene of the crime is actually his room completely changes things. In particular, there's one part of his testimony that's really bothering me now. So I'm finally going to undo this, man. Okay, have a good one, Dartuza. See you later. Good luck with whatever you're doing. You got this. I'm all alone in this world, me. I've got no kinfolk or nothing. Why would I be involved with something like that? Hold it. You mean you have no family?
No, none at all. So I might spend my days on Fresno Street peddling tidbits to passerbys. Hoping, just between us, this is, that eventually someone else with lips like mine will come along. I don't think so. You may be right. Anyway, the mark on your neck is just too much of a coincidence for us to ignore. Well, those are fellows to do that, huh? If you don't believe me, we're all at an impasse. There's nothing I can do but flick me lip. It looks like I'm not going to get anywhere here unless I can produce some proof. You're basically saying I got dressed up and posed as some fancy inspector, aren't you? Well, it's beyond me how you think I could do that. Does it look like I care off a disguise with a face like this?
Hold it.
Maybe you could, say, with a mustache, or a beard, or to cover up that lip. Aye, perhaps. But if I was going to stick some fake facial hair on to cover up for this fine specimen, I'd end up looking like his lordship over there, wouldn't I? Pardon? I assure you my lips are entirely unremarkable. And I would ask you not to cast such scrutinizing looks in my direction, counsel. Oh, I'm sorry, my lord. My imagination got the better of me there. Well, Inspector Grayson did wear a mustache, of course. You're right, he did. So perhaps he was hiding something himself. He could barely have hidden a crumb in a mustache of that size. And anyways, the detective we spoke of his had no facial hair at all. See, the capo is right. He was a clean-shaven. That certainly seems to be the realms of possibility that this witness could have disguised himself as the victim. Aye, it does, and it is.
What difference it makes. So, here. Then what about this picture? If you own the room, why do you have this picture? Yeah.
Objection!
Oh, darn it. Go. Perish. Oh. Never mind. Right evidence, wrong statement. Oh. Would be, there's no way to be that. Okay, yeah, it'll probably be that one. Oh, I see.
Objection!
Yeah, okay, I see, Mooney. Thank you. Okay, yeah, of course, that would, okay. It's interesting that they didn't want me to do it on the one that they changed. I see, okay. Okay, awesome, thank you so much. If you have no kinfolk, as you put it, then explain why it is that among the sparse furnishings, we found this photograph in the room. Ah. I presume as you've been renting the room, that this photograph belongs to you, does it not?
Oh, well...
Mr. Boone, drop the pretense, and tell the court exactly who you really are.
I don't know what you mean. I'm a peddler. I keep telling you so. You really don't need to bother with me. Please, just leave me alone.
what the man says. Leave it alone. Whatever the truth is about this man's life, it has no bearing on this case. Because it's simply not possible that he impersonated Inspector Gregson.
Objection!
Objection. How can you be so sure? Just look at the man. No amount of disguise could ever hide those unmissable features, but what if the features themselves aren't real?
Objection!
Objection. But what if we were to look at this the other way around? What if this is the disguise? What do you mean?
Just how true? What do you mean?
Well, there's no denying that Mr. Boone's lip is very prominent indeed. But consider the possibility that his prominent lip itself is part of an elaborate disguise.
The OST, yes.
Then hiding the prominent feature, in other words, revealing his true face, would make an utterly impenetrable disguise. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Hugh Boone?
Witness, are you still hiding the truth from this court?
If that's a disguise, then underneath it, his true identity must be... Yes, that's right. There's really only one person he could really be. My lord, the defense believes it can reveal Mr. Boone's true identity to the court.
No, please, no. For what, the counsel? What is the true identity of this peddler who goes simply by the name of Gossip on the street?
Wow. Holy moly, dude.
Take that!
Take that. Your real name is actually Mr. Vigil, isn't it? Mr. Dale Vigil. Gah!
I don't recall that name, counsel. Who is this Mr. Vigil?
I'm really impressed how quickly he got into Gossip's true identity. I think it's just because I saw the picture and then I realized they had a similar face.
Who is this Mr. Vigil?
It's a name I encountered yesterday, my lord. It has to do with a certain client of Mr. Herlock Sholmes. A young gentlewoman came to the detective asking him to locate her missing husband. The woman in this photograph, in fact. This is Mrs. Vigil.
What?
From what I understand, you haven't returned home since the night before the inspector was found dead. But of course, on that night, you were being held captive by the two red-headed league men. And last night, you were put up by the prosecution service in preparation for testifying in this trial. Because we've been led to believe that you, Miss Venus, and Mr. Sandwich were all homeless. Being important witnesses in this case, we needed to know where we could find you, of course. And that explains why you've not only been unable to return home, but also unable to contact your wife, who's been beside herself with worry, waiting for you at the Vigil residence.
No. Just hold on for a minute. I don't...
What I'm talking about? Really?
What did you miss? Welcome back, Biometric Data. We have realized that this guy is really Hugh Boone, the owner of the room in which Gregson was found dead in, and that he is the husband of the lady from earlier. He's Mr. Vigil in disguise. Mario and Luigi? Yeah.
It's a simple enough matter to confirm my suspicions. All we have to do is pull off that disguise.
No, no, please. Bailiff, bring soap, a sponge, and a washable at once, and maybe a priest. Mr. DeRosa and Mr. DeRosa, you will restrain the witness.
Oui, my lord. Si, my lord. Oh my god. No, no, stop. Get off, please. He did not need to make them do it.
Oh. Wow, he's really handsome.
Well, we are now seeing your true features, I presume.
Lift your head, sir, so the court can see your face.
He's really handsome.
It appeared that the defense counsel's assertion was entirely correct. There's all been a very elaborate deception. So, witnesses, tell the court. Have you seen this man before?
I don't believe it, but... See, there is no question. This is the inspector we saw in the park.
Extraordinary.
Mr. Vigil is the Tumblr sexy man of this game that's saying a lot. On the day of the Red-Headed League enrollment, the man claiming to be Inspector Gregson who appeared before Mr. de Rousseau and Mr. de Rossi in the park was you, disguised as the inspector, or rather, it was you posing as the inspector in no disguise at all. Mr. Vigil was formerly employed as a chief warder at Barclay Prison.
Chief Warder? Then your career had promise. Why? You would quite possibly have become the future governor of the prison. What on earth have you been doing peddling tittle-tattle on Fresno Street?
Well, it's been 10 years since Mr. Vigil worked at the prison. 10 years. I'm really dreadfully sorry about all this. Yes, it's true. I'm Dale Vigil. And you were the chief warder at Barclay Prison 10 years ago. Yeah, he's figuring it out. So where did Mr. Hugh Boone come from? Boone is the other me. It's a name I invented.
Well, evidently there was a great deal under the surface, Sheriff.
I'll explain everything. I'll tell you just how wretched my life has become. As you say, it was 10 years ago now that my employment as Barclay's chief warder came to an end. Having left the prison service, I searched for some new occupation by which to earn a wage. But times were hard in London, and I found no suitable engagements at all. In desperation one day, I turned my hand at selling wares on Fresno Street. But your wife appears to know nothing of this. She still maintains that you are the chief warder at Barclay Prison. I was utterly determined that my wife should not know of my failings, which is why I've never told her. I opened an account at the bank under the name of Hugh Boone, and I rented the cheapest room I could find on Fresno Street. The scene of the very crime we're investigating. Yes, that's right. A place from which I could emerge every morning at 8 as a squalid peddler, and transform myself back every evening at 5 into a well-dressed man about town before returning home. That quickly became my daily routine. I was puzzled by the lack of furniture in the room, but that explains it. But why on earth didn't you just tell us this in the first place? I have a wife, sir, and 2 sons, and without wishing to sound self-conceited, they regard me with some pride. I couldn't bring myself to disappoint them. So instead, you decided to conceal your occupation from them. Yes. I've made such a terrible mess of everything. Still, one thing doesn't add up. No matter how many tidbits of information you could sell to passing gentlemen, even at 6p apiece, you couldn't hope to match the salary you must have commanded as chief warder at the prison.
Very true. To have kept your family comfort despite 10 years of somewhat misbegotten employment.
That was all thanks to Inspector Gregson. What? Inspector Gregson? What on earth? It was some years after I'd invented Boone and begun my other life as a street seller.
He, the inspector, that is, recognized me one day.
Did you mean to say the victim was an acquaintance of yours?
I knew him from my time working at the prison. When he saw what I'd become, he was deeply troubled for me and my family. And from that day forward, he visited me on Fresno Street with increasing regularity. Then one day, he asked me if I would carry out a secret assignment for him. What was it? I was to impersonate the inspector. What? Impersonate him? Whoa. Whoa. We always met in that little room so the inspector could brief me.
Visit Oxy tomorrow and make a statement from the proprietress.
It was always something along those lines. Surveillance work, interviewing people. On those occasions, he would lend me his identification so people would believe who I was. My instructions were to make an impression, to let people know that Inspector Gregson had been at work. And for those services, he compensated me financially.
A Scotland Yard inspector willing relinquishing his identification into your care with intent to deceive? That, as I'm sure I need not point out, is a very serious criminal offense.
But why? What was the point of you impersonating him? I truthfully do not know. All I can say is that the inspector warned me on numerous occasions.
Now remember, Visual, I need your solemn word. You don't blab about this to anyone, alright? Ever. Even if I end up a croaker.
Whoa.
Why is he holding his head like that? I know, it's quite David Bowie of him or something. In time, he started to bring papers with him into the room as well. It became something of a second office for him. So, in fact, the person who declared himself to be Inspector Gregson at the park on Lime Street was really... Yes, it was me, acting on the inspector's orders. As usual, I removed my boon disguise, and then went as instructed to the park, armed with the inspector's identification book. It never occurred to me that the bruise on my neck might give me away. Well, it would seem this confession completely destroys the defense's case.
Explain yourself, Prosecutor Asugi.
My learned friend's assertion was as follows. The victim was killed at another location on the day before his corpse was discovered, at the hands of these two red-headed league men when they imprisoned the inspector. No, that can't be. After all, it wasn't the inspector who went to the park that day, it was me. Goodness. But, literally, no, it doesn't disprove that at all, because then whatever Gregson was up to, literally he himself was like, I could die if I do this. So that doesn't disprove us at all. That just gives us more avenues as to which Gregson could have died. This is not any disproof whatsoever. I guess since his regular pose is always looking away with his head limp, so they wanted to add flair when he actually decides to look forward. Yeah, oh true. Finally, we have clarity. We had nothing to do with the murder of the inspector. And merci, Monsieur de la Défense, for proving it. What?
Order. 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 Indeed, it would appear that we have reached a de facto conclusion of sorts. These witnesses had no involvement in the murder of the victim, as proven somewhat ironically by the defense. I hereby call an end to the cross-examination.
Hold it!
Hold it.
Pardon me, my lord, but with your permission, I would like to pose one further question to the witness. Kazuma.
What question, counsel?
It concerns the events of 10 years ago. I believe you would have been present at the very significant execution that was carried out at the time. 10 years ago. The execution of the professor, Genshin Asugi. I want to know exactly what your involvement was.
Answer me, man. One moment, counsel. Is this related to the current case?
Naturally. It is the prosecution's belief that this case and the events of 10 years ago are inextricably linked.
Does the defense concur, counsel?
Kazuma, you're not yourself. You're not as calm and collected as usual. Kazuma-sama. No wonder he's acting this way. Mr. Vigil's memories of what happened 10 years ago would tell the tale of Genshin Asugi's last moments. His own father. I know. I do understand that, but even so... Prosecutor Asugi. You genuinely believe that this question requires an answer in order to learn the truth behind Inspector Gregson's death? I need you to trust me. Please.
They did do a kidnapping, they did. Although this theme is really good. I need to wake up early tomorrow morning. I'm going to have to sleep. I will stay for the next episode. Definitely stay for the next episode. Absolutely, King. Thank you so much for coming by, dude. Please have a wonderful night. Very well. Then the defense has no objection.
I see. In that case, you will answer the question, witness.
The truth is, I remember very little of that time.
You've forgotten?
Sorry to say, yes. As I said, I resigned from my role at the prison 10 years ago.
You didn't resign.
But for some peculiar reasons, my memory of the events leading up to that moment is extremely hazy.
Does that not strike you as strange, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry.
Well, 10 years ago is a long time,
But to have forgotten the reason why he left in such an important job. Yes, you're right. And not only that, Mr. Vigil's claim contradicts what we already know. The human spirit is a fragile thing. It's broken all too easy. Which is why we have a tendency to wrap it up for protection.
Sorry? The human spirit?
I'm afraid I don't understand what you mean. When we experience pain and suffering that we feel unable to bear, we block it out, obliterate it from our memories, seal it away. But it never truly leaves us. If the seal is broken, the memories resurface. And when they do, that fragile spirit may finally be crushed. But I really don't... Kazuma-sama. But if it must be crushed, then so be it. Because the truth will not stay buried. It's coming out, one way or another. Right. Now I understand. It's clear what his intentions are. He means to expose the truth at any cost. Perhaps, if I pointed at the contradiction in what Mr. Vigil claimed earlier, it might cause some crucial memories to return to him. But should I? Should I present the evidence or not? Yes, absolutely. I have no idea about how this is going to go, but this is a court of law, and I have a duty to pursue the truth. Mr. Vigil, I'd like you to look at this. Evidence that clearly contradicts your version of the events.
Take that!
Just a few moments ago, you made the following statement. I resigned from my role at the prison 10 years ago. Well, yes. In other words, you claim to have left the post of Chief Warder of your own volition. Well, yes, of course. Why? Tell me. Do you remember seeing this document before? No, I don't. This is a dismissal notice ordering the immediate termination of a prison staff member's employment. A dismissal notice. And the name on the notice is yours, Mr. Vigil. What? What? It's mine? So you didn't resign from the prison service at all? For some reason, you were dismissed as Chief Warder from Barclay. No, there's been some mistake. I'm sure I tendered my resignation. This dismissal notice is nonsense. Isn't it? If you were forcibly dismissed, there must have been good reason. Clearly, you did something. Mr. Vigil, it's time to break the seal and have you remember. According to the few remaining records, the final execution that you supervised was on the 17th of June 10 years ago. And on that day, something very serious took place at Barclay Prison. The 17th of June. Was that the professor's execution? Professor. As you were the chief warder at the time, it stands to reason that you would have been present throughout the proceedings. It does sound familiar. And yet, that execution never took place. The convict, ostensibly executed earlier that day, later re-emerged from his grave. The convict came back to life. In the cemetery, in the middle of the night, there was a witness. However, the witness claims that a moment after he saw the convict clambering out of his grave, a gunshot rang out from over his shoulder, and the bullet pierced the professor's chest, killing him instantly. Hurts the sandwich table slap. He does. He seems very frail. Those may have been the professor's last moments. Yes. Seeing as you were in charge of overseeing executions at the time, you must know the truth about what really happened. It's in your head, somewhere deep down. Well, Chief Warder Dally Vigil, I know there are memories in your head that can explain what happened on the 17th of June, 10 years ago. And now it's time for you to drag them up. Mr. Vigil?
Yes, the whole prison, it was complete chaos. The prisoner escaped. He was killed in the cemetery. The shocking news ripped throughout Barclay like a hurricane.
What? Order! Do you mean to say, Mr. Vigil,
that your memories of the time have returned?
My head, it's like some floodgates have been opened. The images, the screams. Oh, my goodness. The papers. There were reports, articles, about a man who'd seen a ghost. Yes, Enoch Drebber.
But surely those reports were exaggerated.
There were traces at the scene. Traces of what? Sorry. In Lowgate Cemetery, I plot number 139, blood. Lots of blood. That's where the man was buried, of course. Obviously, something terrible had happened there.
The depths of conspiracy and depravity from which this tale is emerging are quite staggering.
I've reviewed the police records from that time extensively. A thorough investigation was conducted by Scotland Yard to ascertain how the convict managed to escape in the first place. And the conclusion reached by the investigating team was that a member of the prison staff must have been involved.
Are you suggesting that a prison warder abetted the man's bid for freedom?
Yes. Yes, and I was suspected of doing it. Of using the mass murderer's execution as a way to help him escape.
You did what?
I remember now. The horror of it all is coming back to me. One evening, a few days after the execution, some detectives came to the prison. I was called to the governor's office at the top of the watchtower. I'm sorry, Dally. This is serious business, but I cannot help you now. As chief warder, you're responsible for the overseeing the execution of eh? Well, it seems the fellows at Scotland Yard want to have a few wee words with you about it. You better pack your things, laddie. You're to attend in person. As soon as he told me that, my mind just went to complete blank. And the next thing I knew, the professor, the most hated killer in our country's history. And I let him escape. I'm finished. My life is over.
Order! Bailiff, fetch the doctor at once. Court is adjourned for today with immediate effect.
So, with Mr. Vigil's collapse, proceedings came to an abrupt end for the day. Once again overshadowed by the legacy of that notorious killer, appearing like a cursed ghost ship on a foggy ocean. Lord Van Zeeks, Mr. Vigil, Kazuma, and Gregson. All of them bound by invisible chains anchored to the same wreckage in the murky depths of the past. But the miraculous light that had been trying to cut through the gloom and shine on those tragic events was playing on the edges of the truth at last.
Ooh. Ho, 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 ho. Mr. Vigil's been through it. The more you learn about what happened, the more terrible and sad it is. 10 years, like, straddling homelessness alone sounds like genuinely horrible. And the way he phrased it too, because he was in a trance, right? He said that he was accused of it, meaning he knows that he wasn't the one, which is awful. Like that. Oh. Damn. 2nd November, 3:38 p.m. Sholmes' suite. I still can't quite believe what just happened. I know.
I inquired with the bailiff after the court session was adjourned, and it seems Mr. Vigil was taken to hospital to recover. Right. 10 years ago now, Mr. Vigil attempted to commit suicide by jumping out of the window of the prison governor's office. But ever since then, he's completely blocked the memory of those events from his mind. Wow. Nobody knew his secret. Not his family, not even the man himself. But I forced it out into the open. Was it wrong of me to do that? Did I overstep the mark, I wonder? Runo! Oh, Iris. You were miles away. Anyway, I brewed a fresh pot of soothing tea for you. Oh, thank you. You and Susie have an exhausting day so far, haven't you? Oh. Thank you, Iris. How thoughtful of you. Do you happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is? When he came out of the courtroom back into the defense's antechamber, he disappeared. Oh, no, I don't know. He just suddenly sprang to his feet and left. All he said was, I must leave. I wonder if he's pursuing the mystery of Inspector Gregson's death. Well, you know what Hurley's always saying, don't you? There are mysteries in this world that should perhaps never be solved. For the construction of a solution comes only at the expense of the destruction of something else. What does that mean? He knows very well that when you open someone else's old wounds, they often open your own too. But he just can't take his own advice and leave well alone. Solving mysteries is too important to him. That's so true. Sorry, there's something about him saying that's so true is hilarious to me. That's so true. It's so true, Oomphy. All that, and he still makes sure to dote on his wife and children to the point Mrs. Vigil called for help after he didn't return for one night. Yes, exactly. You made it through 2/3 of the episode. Okay, wonderful, Mooney. Wonderful. I'm wondering maybe if this is a good point to end. Welcome back, Dartuza. It's good to see you. Holy shit, where do I start, Dartuza? Okay. So here, let me rewind for you, Dartuza, and just for anyone who needs a backup. So essentially, the two twins, they abducted somebody who had Gregson's ID. They had somebody chained up by the neck, right? They had somebody chained up by the neck who had the neck injury. Yeah, they had the... Oh, okay, you'll be watching the VOD. Did you want me to tell you then, Dartuza? Or did you want to just watch the VOD and figure it out? I'm still kind of curious. Okay. Okay, so you want me to give you the rundown? You want me to give you the scoop, the tea, the deets, the spaghetti? Okay. So, so these two had a man who was chained to their home, but they said that it wasn't this man. They said it wasn't this guy. The lips, nothing was the same. Well, mainly the lips. And so we figured that, what if instead of him wearing a disguise to look like an inspector, this was the disguise, right? So we realized we were able to get him to speak, and apparently he has a cover name. His fake name is Hugh Boone, meaning that he's the owner of the room that Gregson was found dead in. This room. And that also means that this picture, since it obviously doesn't belong to Gregson, it belongs to him. So between all of these details, we figured that he wasn't in disguise. This is the disguise, and this is his real appearance. That's where I left? Yeah. Dally Vigil is his real name. Dally Vigil is the chief warder of the professor case, who we, as of right now, oh, did we just straight up say it? Yeah, we revealed it. We straight up revealed it. Yeah. So, yeah, It was him. It was him. And he had like amnesia, maybe like traumatic amnesia of the you know, the details of that case and his, you know, being ousted as the warder. And so we gave him, you know, the info, you know, his dismissal notice and everything, and all the memories came flooding back in, and he passed out. So yeah. So that's where we're at right now. As of right now, we have Dally Vigil as our primary witness, and we need to get the truth out of him. So essentially what was happening was he owned the room to live in so he could make money on the street because he didn't want to tell his wife and children that he had been ousted. Inspector Gregson recognized him a few years into his homelessness and said that he would pay him to go in disguise on detective missions in Gregson's place so Gregson could investigate his own mystery. And from what Gregson said, it sounded like a deadly mystery. A mystery that he was risking life on. So Dale is most likely not the killer, but he is definitely somehow like heavily involved with what happened. Yeah. Unless Dali just straight up is the killer, but I don't, my gut, it doesn't feel right to my gut. So, yeah. So that's where we're at right now. Honestly, I'm just happy we can look at this instead of this now. It's a market improvement. Holy shit, Asugi's portrait is so handsome. Jesus Christ. Yeah. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. So, I guess would this be a good place to call it, and then we just do the rest of it next time? Since Mooney says that we're 2/3 of the way. So, Dali is a victim in all this turbulent mire. Yeah, Dali is definitely seeming to be a victim. Because whenever Dali was getting his memories back, he let it slip like, I was accused of letting the professor survive, and that was during his days. So that means that Dali knows for a fact that he is not the one who let him go. So somebody framed Dali. He turned him into the fall guy. Dali lost his DSL. If that's what Dali's DSLs look like, I don't want any part of it, dude. I don't want any part of that. I do not want any part of that. Think this is a perfect stopping point? Awesome. All right then. Well, let me just. Let's just get through this dialogue, and then we can have we'll be continuing with the day. But that's what I like about Hurley, after all. I suppose that's a lot of a great detective in some ways. So then, let's have tea, and then I'll give you a hand. Oh, have you the time, Iris? Yes, I finished this month's manuscript at last, with barely a day to spare before the deadline. Oh, I'm so looking forward to it. A brand new story to read the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. You know, I always hide Hurley's violin in the days before I have a deadline. You do? Oh, poor Mr. Holmes. I'm sure that's very wise, Iris. How sensible of you. Now then, my dear fellows, let's make a plan of action before we continue our investigation. There we go. Alrighty. Sweet. Awesome. You have suspicions about the killer because you read the original. Interesting. Keep in mind, though, biometric data, that this game often takes the source material and switches it on its head. Like, for example, the Speckled Band was originally about a snake, when in here it was about a cat toy that looks like a snake. So it's like, each reference to Sherlock Holmes is flipped in some way. So it isn't necessarily reliable. Definitely starting to bring it all together. Chapter 4 is freaking amazing. Iris waiting until the deadline like any writer? Yeah, exactly. She's a true creative. Also, out of anxiety, I'm saving one more time. Alright, everyone. It's not even 11. Well, guys, that is tonight's Great Ace Attorney. Holy moly, the events of tonight. We're looking to be finishing at early March, which I'm looking forward to seeing how this game will end.
What do you think, Mr. Rate My Takeaway? What do you have to say about all this?
Right.
I agree. This all seems like a big undertaking. I agree. Stay hydrated? I will stay hydrated, thank you. Man. Alright, everyone. I am sincerely grateful to you all for joining me for tonight's Great Ace Attorney. We're unraveling the truth, and I can imagine we're about 3 sessions away from the finale, which is insane to me. So, wait, maybe 4. But yeah, guys, I am sincerely grateful and thankful that you guys have all joined me on this adventure thus far, honestly. And I'm so excited to uncover and unravel the entire truth, 100% of the story. I love this game. This is one of the best mysteries I've played. It has everything I want in a mystery game. So it's awesome. It's incredible. I love it so much. Hi, Saul. Another banger stream. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you guys all so much for being here. Tomorrow will just be an art stream, I think. I don't think there's going to be anything else I'm interested in doing. I think I'm just going to be drawing. Yeah. You know, maybe 3D modeling. Who knows? But guys, let's go rate somebody. Who is live? Some people... There's another person playing Great Ace Attorney. Let's see. Any one of my friends? Okay. Let's see. It's Henamimi's birthday and anniversary, but playing Bloodborne, so I don't know if that would be the best thing to do right now. Here, let me see. Game magazines, Rubik's Raptor, Shrimps. Okay. You know what, guys? Let's go, yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's go say happy birthday and anniversary to Henamimi. And, yeah. Alright, guys. Please have a wonderful night. Sincerely, thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here on this adventure. We're very close to finishing. But, yeah. We continue soon. Please say happy birthday to Mimi. And also, a Bright Guy is also live. I'm seeing that just right now, so please also watch him as well. But yeah, say happy birthday and wish Mimi an anniversary. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
We'll do the official weigh-in. You're zeroed out. I'm going to have to put this down because it's going to take both hands to move this thing. Okay.
Thank you for the raise. Hi.
835 grams. So what is that?
Happy birthday to me. I hope you had a good
2 pounds?
stream. Oh, I hope you had a good Ace during
Yeah,
your
it's pretty
time.
bad.
I'm
Not quite
Mimi,
2
if
pounds.
you don't know me.
I'll give it a pass.
I'm an
Even
artist
though it's not
Scream
an official
Queen
weigh-in.
Chicken. Nice to
Yeah,
meet ya.
Almost a kilo.
I do
on
art,
that
action,
plate.
and
Okay, here's my
markets.
plan. I have these 2 skewers. I think if I put them in there, it might.
It is my 5-year
I hope it
streaming
holds it together
anniversary.
so we can do a cross section. Or should I even cut this thing? I think I have
Thank
to.
you so much
Right?
for
We
the
gotta
raid.
get,
I
gotta
hope
get the
you're having
cross
a great
section. Make
day.
sure it's all there.
This is a Jackie
The official
Robinson
Jesse-
on it.
Or just food reviews.
There needs to be like Scooby-Doo music playing in the background.
I hope this works. Okay.
Whoa, we're gonna get the cross section of the century, dude.